So hello everybody, welcome to a special scene for This Life as well, the PCs are finally getting a fucking totem. That's right, it's happening, it's real. Um, um as they meet on the borders of the Sept, it's an odd sensation because they are expecting to go one place, but instead they are meeting a quirky little theurge with dyed, bright red hair, very pixie-like in a way. But yet her suits are she wears suits are oddly composed but yet oddly elegant. I suppose when she is a silver fang. And Melanie will stand, hands in her pockets, just it's more impatient if anything. She's tapping her foot down on the ground, just tap 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 tap, looking a bit nervous really if anything else. She kind of fiddles with her thumbs a bit, like ooh. And so we zoom in to our PCs.
Yes. Charlotte at least will have been going around collecting people to fucking meet up and handle this fucking shit. So yeah, Charlotte is I mean, dressed ready to go, has, as many of her people as she could fucking lay hands on, and is pressing forward on this shit determinedly. So yeah, she is on the approach. She's walking with great porpoise.
Purpose. Okay.
Poipus.
Purpose.
Poipus. Won't out the fucking yawn. But either way, closely behind her, of course, as rallied, is the man, the myth, the Alistair McDuncan. As per usual, that depending on what time of day it is, probably finishing off on whatever activity he's been doing. But either way, still following with that powerful stride that he just seems to have, that just aura of straight confidence coming from the man. He's always got a smirk on his face, even when he's wherever this is. He more than happily just follows along.
Yolana is with the party. What? What, Katie? What? All right. Yolana's with the party. And as they approach, she will diminutively trail behind Charlotte and McDuncan, ever the sullen little edgelord. Just tiny, light steps. She's almost kind of bouncing. It looks fucking weird. And she has a bag.
And I'm assuming Mel is trotting in step, just to speed this along a bit.
Yerp.
Cool. Not Melante, fuck. Melanie will turn. As she sees you all kind of bibbling and bobbling over like a bunch of happy-go-lucky, angry munchkins, essentially. Just turn and rub the back of her head again. Wonderful.
No? Good to see you.
Yes, well, I am going to summon Harrier, and then, if my suspicions are correct, well, we are all going on a trip.
And Charlotte is going to glance between either Theurge.
There's a total lack of surprise on Melanthe's face. Just like, yep.
All right. there anything I should do or not do? Again, she's like kind of glancing to either one. They're Theurges and she is not.
Don't be disrespectful. But don't be weak. After all, it's Falcon's brood.
Of course.
Just nods. And whatever you do, don't insult it. You should turn and, as in the Umber, she looks like a fucking bird. She's definitely more like these kind of beak-like features. Even you can see bits of feathers starting to stick out of her hair as well. The clothes she's wearing have kind of, you see her hands are distinctly more talon-like.
Ew.
And she'll take the time. There's a various summing, right? And as Charlotte and Melanthe are probably the ones for it, because Melanthe's the theurge. Melanie let out this shrill whistle, laying down some offerings, and take some time, and eventually, fluttering out in the breeze, and it'll land on Melanie's shoulder and give her a peck on the side of the ear, clipping it. But not in an aggressive way, almost in a fawn sort of way, as if they were kin. And the bird will turn, staring at you, and has a very proud regality. It's not a gigantic eagle, no, it's smaller, but the way it stands, the way it orients itself, it's definitely much more prouder than you would expect to be. It's a bit small, but by the same merit, it is... Whew. Kind of studies you. Like a turn. Like it tilts its head, looking at Charlotte, then looking at Melanthe, then looking at MacDuncan, and then looking at Johanna. With this very deeply, all of you can read it, very deeply intelligent gaze, as if it's analyzing all of you just through the briefest of seconds.
And I mean, Charlotte will at least leave the initial talking to the Theurge because she has no idea if she can be understood or can understand, but she will at least go so far as to offer a very polite, much as she would to a high-standing Raya, just offers a very polite bow.
Melanthe will bow as well. It is a very practiced motion. This is not the first time that she has been introduced to a spirit that outranks her, as it were.
What do you say exactly? Right? Do you just bow and just what do you do?
I mean, there'll be a glance over to Melanthe, and if she doesn't seem especially prone to start speaking, she will address the spirit and just trust Melanthe to fucking run translation or some shit.
She'll give Charlotte kind of a nod, like, you're the alpha. Take point. Go on.
Then yeah, she will offer a very polite bow, and upon rousing, say essentially, "Thank you for coming to meet with us, honored spirit."
Melanthe will translate verbatim if necessary.
Again, tilts the head, studying.
God, Katie just runs out of fucking words magically. We've come seeking your guidance and your wisdom as a totem, as a pack. Just going to assume Mel continues running translation.
She continues to run translation.
Yeah.
Again, studies. Thinks. The eyes is closed once, the beak will turn, looks at Melanthe, looks at MacDuncan, Looks at Johanna and then back to Charlotte again, still perched on Melanie's shoulder, just studying.
And there's probably at least a brief awkward pause in the hopes that, like, surely the spirit will say something, anything. That'd be great. Boardroom posture.
Is that all you guys say? Are you finished, essentially? That's kind of... Yeah, is that all you're saying?
I mean, beyond that, yeah, she obviously after that is looking expectantly, hoping for whatever reply is appropriate.
And eventually, after you all, Charlotte finally goes silent. Melanthe goes silent. After another 30 seconds, it finally speaks. You wish to follow under my stead. Child of cockroach. Child of stag. Daughters of fury and Pegasus.
And yep, there will be a bit of a pause to make sure because he talks a little slow. No need to be rude and interrupt.
Looks at you all again. As if he was expecting an answer.
If Charlotte does not appear to have an answer, Melanthe will actually provide one in this instance. And
I mean, she's not going to stop Melanthe from speaking. She's the Theurge.
take a breath. And as a group that comes from many tribes, it seemed best to find a totem that fit all of us, and also none of us at the same time. There is no favoritism there, and you are known for your wisdom and your empathy. Your guidance would be invaluable, and Falcon's Brood, through Falcon's own tribe, guides Algaru, even though some resist it to a degree.
Just watches. Tilts the head. Studies. Blinks. We are teachers as well as hunters. It is the nature of things. And how have you come together? Through necessity or through belief? Do you believe in the thing that you wish to follow under my wing, or is this necessity for you? For if it is necessity, then you may turn and keep walking. I do not take those who give necessity over the need of peace. You must believe it. Then, and only then, will you actually make the changes.
For what it's worth, Charlotte will keep her eyes on the spirit itself as Melanthe's running translation, because it's a listening cue. She's trying to remain attentive, not look distracted by constantly glancing aside. She finally gives a nod. I will not speak for the others, but I can say truly that I believe very strongly in the need for unity, in the need for peacemaking. She will actually glance back and even step slightly to the side to give each their chance to say their piece.
A month, 2 months gone, I would not have been able to tell you for certain. I would probably not have stood here. But I have seen that greater things can be accomplished together than separately. And I would do great things for us, for the nation.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
I want McDuncan to go first. I just want to hear McDuncan before I go. If that's not any trouble to you, Tom.
Alright then. And so, as the others say their part, Melante's still translating across, and looked out. The turn, the silence finally falls on McDuncan, and almost Charlotte takes that step to the side. McDuncan opens his arms, take that step forward. Finally, he's been sat in the background. This is not his talk, not yet. But now it has come to him, and he, of course, offers the proper submission towards the spirit, so much higher ranking than him. And he drops to his knees, arms open, bowing. "High noble spirit of Paddy, I, Alistair McDuncan, known to the nation of Heart of Fury, that I kneel before thee. And I tell you this, I am a man of very simple means. Very simple means. And those means are all edging towards a single final goal. And what I've led to understand, that joining up with these, to show them the experiences that I have fought, that I have lived, and them to teach me as well. All teaching each other to learn and to fight is the only way. And the way I truly believe in a greater spectrum of all these lands and all these Garu alike, that we can truly find peace." And he bows his head, still kneeling.
Now it's Yolanda's turn to kneel. She can't be the only motherfucker not kneeling here. And there will be some Harrier-esque silence, posing herself before she says, "I feel things more than I think them, and the beat of my heart leads me here. I believe in the cause in the truest sense, because I feel it. This is right."
Is that everybody finished?
Yeet.
He will turn, stretches his wings out and kind of flaps them a bit. And you'll give a little measured poof off and just land along Charlotte's shoulder. The talons kind of they don't dig in as if he's trying to hurt you, no, they just settle. And studies you. Looks deep into your eyes, like deep in. Again, the eyes you would say they look cold, but again, it's with this vast intelligence that he's just staring at you with. The head tilts to the side, and he'll turn, and he will regard McDuncan again. Not flap off Charlotte, but he will regard him, studying, measuring the posture, measuring everything, and he'll look at the Furies, and he will stare right into the soul of Johanna, because he can't see all of her face, so he can just see her eyes, so he just stares at it, leaning forward.
Perfect.
Turns and looks at Melanthe. And then we'll do the same, and then we'll finally speak. When he does, he'll turn his head, much like the picture, still perched on Charlotte. The feathers are unremarkable yet, but yet at the same time regal. Two of you speak with fire and have committed deeds which would contradict which I follow. But you are both very young, and both doubtful. One of you is nervous of who she is. The other is hoping that he can hide it all with his regality. But you all seem to at least try. You turn and look. First of all, he regards Melanthe first. Just woof, head snaps around.
She'll meet his gaze, and there's not surprise, perhaps, but understanding that yes, she was definitely one of those people. Like, you don't hear those words and not recognize yourself very clearly. But she'll still meet his gaze.
You hide your fury beneath a veneer of politeness, and yet will sit in your room. Will you do that again, or will you stand when they need you to stand, and not hope that you can run away? That is my question to you, Melanthe Stratanoke. Fancy words aside.
And she pauses before answering, because quite frankly, answering too quickly indicates a complete lack of thought on the matter. And she is considering the words before just blurting out an answer. I will not argue the fury or the doubt. They are things I am working on. Spirit, I will stand. I must. Even if you turn me away today, I must.
The proof will be in your deeds, not your words. And that is what I will hold you to.
As always.
No, Fury. From now. He says with a firmness this time. Like, the beak even clicks, with a kind of firm tone. Like, yes, I am satisfied by saying this.
She just nods.
You turn and look at Johanna. And you, Eletius. You hide your face from me. Are you afraid that I will see what is underneath it? Or do you think the skull covers your own shame?
She'll take it off, no matter how fucking cold it is.
You asked another person to stand against his people for your own needs. You have hurt people before, merely because you are a raider and that is your nature. You have looked out for yourself all your life, for that is the world you grew in. Do you still believe that? Or are these your people now? And what you work towards is not you, but them.
I am with them now.
Just a nod. See that the blood you spill be for them, and not for gold. Just turns, like regards you like, yes, I have said what I need to say. Clicks the beak, all satisfied. Rounds the big fucking talons around and looks Alistair dead on for the fucking face. And you, loud son of Stag, will you hide what you dream from the people you care about, in hopes that all the laughter in the world will turn it away?
There's a second, as of course he's addressed, but Duncan kind of opens up, looks that proud, kind of still kneeling, but the proud open posture. There's a second before he's known to jump and answer because he's very direct, but now he waits. Aye. They're my people. Pack and a family. No secrets. Nothing like that. They accept me for who I am.
The world that you grew in is an unknown to you. In order to finally have the things you seek, you have to stretch out for it for both hands and trust that they will not let go of it. Are you prepared to stretch out those hands? Or will you be eternally lost in the dreams of those once gone?
Oh, great Harrier, I will outstretch these hands and I will grip harder than any man before me.
The beak clicks like, yes, we shall see. Turn and the fucking cold, beady eyes then fucking regard Charlotte finally. Is what he'll do is he'll flap off and land back on Melanie's shoulder so he has a more direct and proud posture, because otherwise it'll be very fucking awkward. And we're not about awkward. I'm not raccoon type of gesture. You regard her, and you, the alpha.
She just bobs her head and lets him finish his thought.
The alpha. One who is so afraid of her own failures, she will let the others trample at her feet and hope that they will stay merely because they trample and feel comfortable in that, than actually fight for what she is. Because she is so afraid that they will disappear like dust in the wind. Is that you? Is that what your eyes tell me?
It is in me more recent than I would like to admit. Mean to change.
No. You mean to change.
I do.
There is a difference between meaning and doing, little one. You may have climbed and held, and you have put yourself where people should respect you. But you have no respect for yourself and who you are and the things you have done, or the dead of which you have buried because of it. Only then can you lead them. For each of them has given the sacrifice, the strength, the courage to stand with you. But you do not take those upon yourself. That is not a good leader. That is a person who is running and hoping that someone will take it for her.
Do you finally just kind of bobs her head in concession that I mean, are you going to tell the empathy 8 million spirit that he's wrong? So, no, she bobs her head in concession and understanding. And I will have to be better. And I will be.
Be better. Are you implying that who you are is not good enough? I have heard this phrase many times of late. It has come at the price of many, many deaths and blood to be better. They do not follow you because you are better. They follow you because you are you. Recognize that. And then you are ready.
Thank you.
You stand at a crossroads, all of you. Do you regard yourselves as better than everyone? Or equal in your convictions? If you are better, then you do not need me, for you have already chosen the way. But if you wish to be equal, then take the step forward and kneel. And then rise together.
McD takes a step forward and kneels, planting
Yeah.
both knuckles on the ground.
Melanthe will reach over towards Charlotte, like just reaches out a hand. Like, we do this together.
Yeah, Charlotte admittedly didn't expect the gesture, but when she catches the movement out of the corner of her eye, will just kind of thoughtlessly reciprocate. And yeah, we'll go down and hit a knee and reach out the other hand to her other side.
Too, but he's too fast.
Yeah. We're all going to step forward and kneel and hold hands.
Right.
Yeah, we are.
Down. Hand. And then again, she'll wait for Charlotte to move before they all stand up.
They all stand up as together, and the Harrier stares at you all, still perched on the shoulder of one of his children. Then you will have a task ahead of you, for there is much conflict in the court of my brothers, of the stag, of the wolf, as they clash with the ice and the dread of the north. To solve this, you will need to come together to make the western wolves stags. My brothers, think as one and not of themselves. You will need 4 pieces, or tokens they will give you. And once you have this crown, come back and place it at my feet. And then I know there is peace between the wild north and the troubled west. Even if it is just a small one, it is still peace. I will not aid you in this. You will aid each other. You just pecks Melanie softly on the ear and just flies off.
All right. Going. Oh, my face is warm again. Oh, thank God. And remember, I said she had a bag. She slowly. It's strange to watch her walk that soft. Approaches Melanie, holds out the bag.
Melanie just kind of stares at you as you're coming over. Just,
Please accept this small token of our gratitude.
Oh, believe you me, that's the least of your problems at the minute. I have to go with you, so we'll save shaking each other's hands when we get the job done. Because we have a job now. She pats Johanna on the shoulder. I'll take it off you when we actually do it.
She stuffs the bag back in the bag. Weird umber bags. I don't know.
The court of Wisconsin.
Yep. Charlotte turns a glance. Only heard a little bit about it.
There is a lot of tensions, particularly after the Wolfsmaw incident. And there is tensions between the families over what to do and who they're holding responsible. Our name has been tossed in the pot as well. If we are to have a secure border both in the north and the west, it is important that these talks go well. I will assist, but Hire has given you your task. I will feed you what information I can while I'm there. It'll be up to you how you act on it. But the point I'm going to tell all of you, this is a court of my brood, not of my house. This is House Wormfoe and House Gleaming Eye. There are Fianna there too, as well as Gid of Fenris. The Silverfangs rule. So, be respectful. Be very respectful.
Chorus of nods?
A chorus of nods.
I will begin opening the moon bridge. She'll start walking off, rubbing her face like, oh boy.
Like right now?
Look over her shoulder, unless you have any other plans.
I will go pack.
You will not need it. She keeps walking.
So,
I had been under the impression that diplomatic negotiations usually took a variety of days.
we'll see.
We have a push to make tomorrow.
We don't have days. We have hours.
Just a matter of fact little nod.
I think you best stop fucking moaning about it and get fucking to it. As McD starts marching after Melanie.
Yeah, the only just kind of watches him go and trails behind.
Well, Lindsay does get a bit of a pat on the back of the shoulder. Kind of come on, you got this. And yeah, she'll pause to let Melanthi get moving at the same time she does. Not just leaving her behind, but yeah. We'll head over to just kind of politely watch this opening a Moonbridge process because that's new and interesting.
Yeah, Melanie opens this big,
Oh
long,
yeah, no, should definitely watch. That's fascinating.
shiny moon bridge. It fucking shoots off into the fucking sky. Just you turn over and she'll turn back. All right, everyone, single file. Come on. Clicks her fingers.
And put her off.
Come on, Charlotte, come on. Charlotte.
I'm walking.
Charlotte,
To the
in
front, Charlotte.
I'm walking.
in the front, Charlotte.
Front.
Clicking her fingers rapidly. So
Like,
much
I'm
aggressive
going.
clicking.
The clicking
Get to the
fingers.
front.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
She's moving. Literally
Who's the
moving.
beta? Who's
Come on, Charlotte, name your fucking beta.
who's the
Everyone just looks at Charlotte like, well.
Charlotte thought this was
Fucking-
established. She just looks over at McDuncan and
stares at
gestures.
McDuncan.
Aye, that's right. Don't forget it.
Well,
Really?
just kind of shrugs like, okay.
Come on, McDuncan. Go behind
Yep.
Charlotte. Come on. Clicking the fingers.
Lines up, all proud.
Is there do you have an Omega?
He's missing.
Not with us.
It's not. Okay. Then I will put in terms of who I no longer. Melanthi, go behind McDuncan, and Skullface Killer, you go there and take off the damn skull mask when you get in, or they will laugh you out of the court. Word of advice.
Yolana is once again damned to have a cold face.
Melanthe will unwind one of the 3 scarves that she is wearing and offer it to her sister.
She waves it off. It's not the same.
It's the only way I've been able to feel my ears for the last month.
I'll be fine.
Now, kind of gestures with the kind of the march. You know what I mean? Like, go.
Jesus.
And remember, as the Wormfoot says, you're on Silverfire. You know, she
Oh.
does the loud echo.
Head just comes up to the face as she starts moving. Like, oh boy. Why do I
Charlotte.
feel like it's not going to be
Charlotte.
like that?
Charlotte, what are you doing, Charlotte? Huh?
Hmm?
What's that? Huh? Get that hand out your face. He just got slaps the hand off. Boy.
Actually, she just looks back like I feel like I
Alright.
should be mad at you, but
You listen here, Charlotte. You gotta be proud. Gotta show you're here to mean fucking business. Not be a little scared girl. Now go on. Show him who's fucking boss. With respect, of course.
the kind of like, but well, okay then.
Aye.
Fuck.
Aye.
Fucking like
Aye.
pulls herself up and yeah, goes back to looking straight as she's walking instead of over her shoulder. But ugh.
Now, that's what I thought.
As you eventually traipse across the moon bridge, it takes some time, and you get to see these lovely views of the Umbral skyline, which are like, ooh, that's a long way down. Ooh. You eventually see in the distance that is what you think it is. That's a fucking castle. That's a proper fucking castle. Umbral and everything. It even seems to have glow in the light as well. Glows with this kind of moonish tint off it, but a mix of both sun and moon. One side sun, the other side moon.
Would you fucking look at that?
They certainly know how to impress.
They do. I mean, she's still like keeping up the pace, but it's like that is a no shit castle.
So eventually you will come off the moon bridge, stepping off, and he's all behind you guys, and the first person you will meet Two people come out. One second. Two people. One is tall, very powerful looking, definitely a build of a rune. Silverfang Purebreed up the balls, about Purebreed 4. The other is slimmer, but no less he is got a decent build, but he's a lot more lithe than the other fella is. Brilliantly red hair, but there are streaks of silver in it. Although he doesn't look old, he looks probably like mid-20s. The other guy looks probably about mid-20s as well. And there's this distinctive, powerful smell of Fianna Purebreed off him as well. They're both walking up. You know, the bigger one that smells of Silverfang is visibly armed. That's a fucking clave. That is what it is. You see it right there in the hip. The other guy, he just seems to be wearing this long, billowy coat, although he definitely has sort of more foxish features to him as well. There's the glint in his eyes. It's not as thick, but definitely this more... There's something about those eyes, man.
Yep. Charlotte will essentially, once they get off the moon bridge, make sure that everyone is off, offering a nod, acknowledging that she sees them, and letting them approach instead of making further ingress on their fucking territory. And we'll wait until they pause at whatever distance they see fit to begin introductions.
Just hear the big gruff one. Identify yourselves.
My name is Charlotte Sullivan, deeded Web of Peace. I'm a Halmed-born Philodox, Glasswalker and an Adrian to the nation. I come with my pack and the guidance of a Theurge on a quest from our would-be totem and seek entrance to your sept.
What sept are you coming from?
Sept of the Hearthfire.
Yeah, the redhead kind of turns and looks at him and kind of smirks a bit. Oh, look, they're from fucking Hearthfire, Daniel. Oh, would you look at that? Turns and looks at the rest of them. Y'all pack, are you? Or is this a 4-dance party?
Aye, we're all together.
Just nods. So this is who Hearthfire is sending. Hello, Melanie. She waves. She waves back awkwardly, like, hey. We walk up. Big, the cloak kind of billows in the wind. Like assess each one of you. Looks at Fianna. Right, well, Daniel, you better get introducing yourself before you get your fucking knickers in a twist. The one known as Daniel just fucking gives him the rune stare, like, I will fucking... Daniel Bordeaux, Silverfang, Halmed-born a rune of the Bordeaux family, cousin to the Alpha of the Sept. We are standing on guard for those who seek entrance for the negotiations. Looks at Michael. Michael will stick out his hand to Charlotte because she's a fucking Adrian. Oh yeah, he would have identified as an Adrian as well. Michael will stick his hand out and shake her hand quite firmly, like, whoa,
Fuck it, yeah.
Michael O'Neill. They call me the Grey Fox. Proud son of Stag, Adrian to the nation, and the most wiliest ragabash. Mostly. Leans in, definitely.
Already got that easy smile, especially that the lean in, as if the rest wasn't enough. It's a pleasure to meet you both.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Nods, smiling. The fucking The Silver Fang just gives you the "you're a glasswalker, I'm a Silver Fang" stare. Type of, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, whatever. Look at the rest of you. Who the fuck are you guys?
I, Raya, am Alistair McDuncan, known to the nation as Heart of Fury, born upon 2 legs, Fianna Galliard, Cleith. And he, submits.
The Fianna looks pleased. He's like, "Oh, look at." Leans into Charlotte. Oh, you got a Fianna and everything. Look at that. Oh.
I know. It's one of those lucky, right? Kind of like, just look at him.
Michael turn and the Grey Fox will turn and look at Melanthe. And what about you, beautiful?
She kind of like tilts her head in acknowledgement of the compliment. There's like a little smile, but does not lose track of the fact that what they're doing or who she's talking to. I am Melanthe Stratoniki. Born
Oh.
Hamid Cleith the Arch, known to the nation as Stinging Nettle of the Black Furies.
Well, I can
And
imagine
she
why.
also submits.
I can imagine why you're called Stinging Nettle with eyes like that, eh, Daniel? Hey, hey. He just stares at him again with the "I will fuck you up." You know what I mean? Just staring.
She's trying not to smile too much. But she's, yeah.
And Daniel will turn and look at Johanna as the fucking doomstare meets each other. Do you know what I mean?
The fucking the Doom Patrol. Like, I like to imagine that these two, especially with their extreme difference in size, just by happenstance, not any arranged aggression, but by happenstance, are directly across from each other, just united in that parallel as the fucking Doom Patrol. And Ilana will kneel. Yolana Elitius deeded the prying blade. Hamid Cleith Philodox of the Black Furies.
He acknowledges in Doom. Very well. As bestowed upon me, you are granted access to the court of Wisconsin. However, you are all cordially invited into the main court, as the main ceremony will begin. It is part of tradition. Michael just nods. Oh, yeah. Have to look fancy.
You happily accept the invitation.
Now, have you brought... No, you don't have to change of clothes with you. Look at you. You're all like, Jesus. There are dresses. There are suits. There are all that you need inside. Now, keep in mind, this is the Umbra. And I know before you say it, how did you get him over here? It's a long story, and I'm not a theurge. I'm a Ragabash. He's an Arun. We're not good at this.
Charlotte is just coaching in the smile a little bit, like, let's not go too far here, but God damn it, she likes him so much already.
So, single file, please. Actually, you know what? No disrespect now there, Charlotte. Pats her on the head. Why don't you let the Stradinoki go first? It's often the way in the court to let the prettiest girls be seen. And Melanthe, well, gotta say, hen, it's a nice set of hair.
She gets patted on the head. God damn it. She'll never escape this gesture.
If you would forgive me, Raya, but she is our alpha. But if you're certain...
You see, everyone knows already she's the alpha. She's done the fucking introductions. But the first thing they're going to see is, well, flicks her on the nose. Beauty! Forgive my friend, he is a Ragabash. He'll just lean in to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Very
She just looking
casually.
over like, are you... And yeah, forgive my friend, he's a Ragosh. It's like, that explains everything that just happened.
He is in an energetic mood, as most of his tribe are, if there is disrespect.
Charismatic enough to pull it off to boot.
I see.
I'm fine.
Responds in doom as he leans away.
Just the little hand wave of like, it's good. Raggy's gonna Raggy, essentially, is the gesture.
Daniel just nods like, I have now judged you. Just looks around. If you would, please.
Yeah. She'll bob ahead and go wherever is gestured for them to
Yeah.
get a little changed and fancied up.
If you take the clothes,
what
if you take... Oh yeah, go ahead.
kind of clothes exactly are we looking at?
They are incredibly regal. It depends on what type of vibe you're going. There are generally, it is more, I would say, early Renaissance style. There is some medieval styles, but there is more modern dresses as well. As the Grey Fox will turn, he'll turn to, we've got everything. Everything except a Mediterranean stuff. It's a bit... I want to say we were trying it, but kind of gestures. Look where we are. We're in the middle of fucking Wisconsin, not Greece. No offense, ladies.
Not at all, but the draping is sometimes more forgiving.
Oh well, there's plenty. There's plenty of modern dresses that are a little more forgiving, if you get what I mean. Just remember, pick something that they're going to remember you by. That's my advice. Always my advice. Isn't that right, Daniel? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll leave you to your privacy. Come on, you. Wraps his arms around the Fianna.
That's like, aha! Hello.
Daniel, stop staring at the ladies. Come on. This is... They'll close the door. And he'll just do a little finger waves as he closes the door.
It's like a glance back over to Melanthe just to see like how her mood is faring. She looks pretty entertained, at least.
She's pretty entertained, actually. She's yeah.
Oh yeah, and the girls start pouring through a fucking wardrobe. Like, oh sweet Jesus.
Yolana's putting on a suit. I don't know about the fucking rest of you. I tell you what, I'll even switch it to a different suit picture to show that she accepted their suit's fatality.
Suits fatality. Man, I'm
looking
going
at her own suit like, what? Is this too rustic? I see. I'll switch over to these pinstripes. That's far less rustic.
Fucking Doom Metal just plays in the background. She buttons up the final button. Just looks around. And so outside, while Charlotte is getting her biddies and her ditties and everything like that, the three boys are striding. Well, Daniel's at the back. The two Fianna are fucking charging ahead, and they'll turn in. And MacDuncan, you have never seen such more tuxedos and the mirrors with like each of your reflection and everything. But these mirrors seem to glow with this weird lunar light off them as well.
As he's forcefully, aggressively accosted to enter this room, he does so. Looks around, sees all like the more suits that he's probably ever seen in his entire life. Looks at the mirrors that glow slightly. He's like, "Oh, this is mighty fancy. This is rare."
Oh, it is. Oh, yes. Oh, by the Lord merging Jesus, it is. It's as fancy as a fucking leans in. It's a Shadow Lord's arse after getting caught by a Silverfang.
Oh, aye. That is definitely a sight to behold, right? I mean, look at this. Look at that. It fucking glows. Is this actual vanity? Or is it like You know,
And it's a relationship our alpha keeps with the loon spirits, and several theurges keep it as well. It's it's a very delicate theurge thing, which I have no idea what I'm talking about.
you know what? I couldn't have said it better myself, but it looks nice.
Doesn't it look nice, Daniel? It looks fitting. Sage nod. Means that Daniel's a very one-worded type of guy, takes everything way too seriously. But he's a lovely fella. Devil for the drink, though.
You know what? You don't need to say a single thing, Raya. I like it straight and to the point. My kind of man, Raya. I can respect that a whole lot. Lot of respect for you, Daniel. Lot of respect, Raya.
Thank you. Just gives it like, yeah. Looks at the grey fox like, yeah. You know what I mean? You see it, like, yeah, that's right. I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, he'll then proceed to kind of spin on his heel. Right. I need to find me a suit.
If I might make a suggestion, my bearded friend.
Why, certainly, Raya.
Something that gives off a very old world style. You're Scottish, yeah?
I am Scottish indeed, Raya.
Oh, well, bollock me butter and call me Betsy. Look, I got just the thing. He starts walking through. Things fly over. One lands on Daniel's head, one lands on yours. And out he comes, MacDuncan, with a kilt.
Does it have all the bag and all the feathers and everything on it?
Mm-hmm. Even more like peacock feathers and everything. It's so so fancy.
My God. Look at that. It's beautiful, Raya.
Well, gotta find yourself a nice suit to go with it. Nice little bit of,
But I need. That's it. Come on. I need to find something. It just goes dick.
And eventually, you will find the appropriate peacocked spore and suit. And MacD, you look like $1 million. You're like, oh, if Agnes could see me now. Oh, Jesus. Even like, you just, it's like, this is weird. You're not used to looking so fancy. And then you're led out and you all meet up as Grey Fox will go, oh, Jesus, look at that. Pointing, like just nudging Daniel and jesting over at Melanthe. It's actually like, oh, he's walking by.
Yep, Melanthe went for, it's the drapiest thing she could find. It doesn't come up quite as far as she thinks it was intended, but it looks okay. And there's enough space in the skirt to move freely, which is good because tripping over your own feet is just embarrassing. We don't need none of that here.
So the Grey Fox will walk over, and out of his big long cloak, he'll take 2 small flowers. One is a thistle, and one is, let me just check his sheet. Yes, one is a white rose. And he'll go, eeny, meeny, miny. And he puts the white rose in Charlotte because it matches her white dress. And he'll put the thistle into Melanthe's hair, if you don't mind. Now, add a bit of flower to your step.
Well, she kind of pauses.
Though I am always grateful for the assistance in accessorizing from one as dashing as yourself, Raya. Would I be incorrect to suppose that there is some meaning to the thistle? I recall it is an important flower.
Oh, it's a very important flower. The Scotsman, I'll tell you. But for you, you are a wild beauty from Greece, and the thistle is a wild flower from Scotland. I feel as a Fianna. And I cannot get you flowers and native things from Greece, unfortunately. I feel like the wildness matches. See, she looks regal, and that's fine. You look wild, and that's also great. He smiles. You need a bit of both in this life.
She He is going to pee in the AM, actually. Yeah.
I will warn you, he will roll to hide his feelings.
Oh,
Anything.
I'm sure.
And that's without his pure breed.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't
He
expect to win this, but there is
He only
there's
gets
some,
three. He only gets 3.
Jesus Christ. Sadly, my pure breed doesn't help in reading people, and I get no bonuses from our totem yet.
No.
Yeah, meet not beat, sadly. Wait,
You got 3. You got 3.
did he? There's a 1 in there.
Exploding 10.
That would do it.
And he's just, it's that smile, man. It's you can't really read it. It's very just congenial. It's like, hey, everybody's happy.
Just
I'm a Fianna.
still
That's what the smile
mildly
essentially says.
suspicious.
At least do me the favor. After all, since I've invited you into, technically this is my home, at least consider it an old-fashioned bit of Fianna hospitality, if nothing else, Miss Stradinoke.
She will concede.
He took it perfectly neat, perfectly respectful as well. He just nods and he'll spin on his heels very dramatically. The cook like whips around, Charlotte.
Yes.
Yuff. Would you like a rose? Just right in front of your face.
Phew. Huh. There it is. Does he like go sleight of hand levels on this?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just kind of like the puh. Oh. Of course.
Well then, keep still. She just edges the flower just into the perfect side of your hair then.
Yeah, she will keep still and indulge him.
Daniel will just turn and look at Johanna. You look well. Onrai.
As do you, Raya.
Nods.
Nods.
In doom. In nods and doom satisfied, like yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Fewer words, the better. We're 2 Ron Swansons.
He'll turn. Now, ladies, gentlemen, welcome. As he starts walking towards the door, and he'll open the door to the court of Wisconsin. This is what you walk into as you're walking. And there are people there, yes. Not as much as in the picture. There are Gru, definitely. You can smell Fang, Fianna, Get. Oh, you smell that? You smell the distinctive home brew of Get, but just a metric fuck ton of Silver Fang as well. There are banners as well. Although they seem slightly bit more faded, there is the banner of the Get Finners. There is the banner of the Hawk. There is the banner of the Eagle and the banner of the Stag. The banner of the Eagle is the first. The banner of Stag is second. The banner of the Hawk is third, and the banner of Fenrir is last.
There's definitely a moment taken to appreciate the view. They put a lot of effort into this impression. It would be rude not to be like, whoo.
There's the same for McDuncan, a moment to appreciate the view, and then he looks at the room and wow, the Silver Fangs definitely know how to put on a good show.
Yeah, Charlotte's not hiding that initial reaction of just straight up awe.
You'll see Melanie in the crowd with a weird quirky dress that's got little different bits of tin and bits of metal in it. She'll kind of look at you guys and kind of just like, get the fuck in there. She's chatting to people.
Yeah. And we're moving. Ugh.
Moving.
Not just pausing in the doorway, but yeah, the faces, man. Hers at least lights up. This is intense.
You start moving through, and you see several faces that kind of move past too quickly to catch into you. One face for Shant that you'll particularly recognize. You'll see this guy here. He is in the fantastical Yarrow brooches, the big long cloaks. He looks like a Yarrow from a fucking, it looks all the balderdash essentially. And you will hear, ha ha, echo around in the back of the hallway.
Yes! I have never felt so immediately comfortable in a strange place in my life. Oh. Oh yeah. As soon as she hears it, she's gonna fucking smile. Fucking try to pitch the Iverson a nod as well, just because, hey, I know you. Polite nods.
You see Doomclaw. I don't have a picture of this guy in the suit, but Doomclaw is in the suit. You can tell it's been modified because
So many tailors.
Mm-hmm. His hair is all braided up in one big long braid. But they're there. They're chatting. They're actually chatting to the Get Offenders by this blonde girl with covered in tattoos. She's covered from head to toe in tattoos.
No.
But they're chatting to her, and Doomclaw's like, ha ha, Redmond, you are a silly one. Yes.
I don't
So what do you
suppose
get?
any of the Redmonds are people that I have seen dropping Alice's
No.
things back.
You would have met Cassidy, but Cassidy is not here for this.
Yeah. Bob is laughing uproariously. Yeah, she will keep them moving.
So where are you guys exactly heading? You heading up towards the throne? You heading into the crowd? Are you socializing? What are you guys doing? What's happening? What am I working with?
There's definitely the first reflex. Obviously look towards the throne, but also look around to see who else they might know. She does vaguely remember the Iverson, but she was really drunk, so
She'll hear the resounding booming.
that
Echo
that gets a
the
smile.
walls.
You can't not smile when you hear Doomclaw.
Yolana's doing a general scan to try to sense who the grand swinging dicks in the room are.
Well, I shall identify you one of these people.
And a simple question thrown away, so in that, because McDuncan is a simple man that he is, are there drinks?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yes.
the homing beacon begins, because when you're at a party, you can't just stand around awkward, you got to stand around awkward with the drink.
Oh, you get it, and it's rich, spiced wine, McDuncan. It's like, ooh.
Like, what kind of glass does it appear in? Is it
Depending on who you're getting it from. If you're getting from the Fianna side, it's a rich goblet. If you're getting from the Get side, it is a tankard. If you're getting from the Silfang, it is a glass, my dear boy.
oh, fuck it. He's gonna mix in. He'll go over to the Silverfang table, of course, and get a fancy little champagne flute.
Yeah, it's like from fucking nearly pure crystal, but it's tiny in your hand. You're like, ooh.
Yep, yeah, he just holds it so delicately, pinky out entirety of the time as well. So he's kind of gripping it with his thumb and index and middle finger, and that's it. He slowly appears back to where Charlotte is. And for you, Raya, hands her a champagne flute.
Yeah, she will take it with a smile just because, man, seeing a big man with a tiny glass is just, oh, look, he's holding it so dainty. Yeah, she takes it with a smile and a nod. Thank you.
For Johanna, you will see this old man, and he is old, yes, definitely. Distinctive Fianna purebreed, talking to this man who smells younger, probably I would say 22, around that age. can tell straight away that's a fucking Silver Fang. But he is not as dressed as fancy as some of the others. His robes are black. If anything, it's more kind of. He looks more like a raiment for battle. If anything, you recognize his old armament style. It's that type of vibe.
Kind of stuff you'd wear directly under plate mail.
Yeah, exactly. And they are chatting, and they're chatting very, very in depthly. You can tell even just by straight off the get with your kind of talents. These two are players, definitely. Particularly the old man. He definitely carries that respect about him, you know?
Well, then you don't get to be this fucking old in a situation like this unless you know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Pretty much. And for Charlotte, Melanie will indicate, like she'll lean over and whisper, the king and queen are not here yet, so mingle with who you can and make a good impression. The Wolfsmaw delegate are here as well, so once the king or queen are here, they will formally welcome you. For now, just socialize.
Is there some appropriate rehearsed response I should be giving?
Treat it like any other sept. This is like a moot for them.
It's a small nod.
You should gesture at the old man. That's the beta, the true catcher.
Oh,
That's Wiseout O'Neill. The man beside him is Jasper Von Care, the current head of the Von Care family, the Silver Fang of Gleaming Eye.
it's another nod. Anyone else I should be aware of picking out?
There is his father, Hugh, but he is disfavored. There is Connor, Tombstone. The Redmond family are over there.
He's nodding. Are there any other family heads here?
Well, William... No, not William. Morgan is the head of the Bordeaux family. He's the alpha of the sept, or the king. His children might be here depending if they cross over or not. They're still kin, but one of them is expected to change. Don't know which. She'll whisper as she's walking along.
Yeah, she will just take up the casual walk-in chatter thing with Melanie. She walks around so that she can kind of get a scan of the room, an assisted scan even.
And what are the rest of you guys doing?
Melanthe is doing something similar on her own. It doesn't necessarily make sense for all of them to clump together. Although obviously once formal things begin, they will reconverge.
Oh, you're going on your own, are you? Oh.
Not own, but yeah, she's not like clinging to Melanie and Charlotte, because to some extent you have to, diffuse through the crowd. There's a lot of people to
So,
cover.
Melanthe gets a bit more looks because in terms of appearance-wise, she is that much more like striking. So people are turning to glance at her first. And they glance at Charlotte too. And, Johanna gets glances as well because both of you have decent amounts of pure breed. That is probably why Melanthe is getting a bit more of it, because she has a stronger pure breed. McDuncan gets a couple of acknowledgements as well because he's got some pure breed in there and he's a big boy. The Fianna boys are like eyeing up him going, oh. And some of the Getter looking over at you as well. You're definitely being noticed. And the first person, fuck it, I'll pick Melanthe. First person that's going to notice you. And you just hear the booming voice, ha ha! It is the little one, Singald. Storms past people.
She will turn. Which probably does cute swirly things with the dress, because fuck it. Because it sounds like those giant footsteps are headed in her direction.
Yeah,
There's
you'll hear Gwen. This is Melanthe. Turns and Dungal's right in front of your face.
There's a pleasantly expectant look when she turns to face him, so it is still pleasantly expectant. She is
Yeah,
introduced to Gwen.
you meet his chest, essentially.
Yeah, it is a great place to be.
And then he'll step aside, and this smaller woman with distinctive tattoos. Like, I mean, they're not runic. They're essentially biker tattoos.
Mhm.
She's she's covered in scars as well. She's just a very rough edge about her. Just merely nod as Doomclaw. This is my friend Melanthe.
And she will give a polite nod to the woman with the kind of like I'm just nodding, but I suspect if you introduce yourself that I will be a little bit lower. kind of.
She's your friend, is she, Doomclaw? Yes, we fought. She lost, of course, but she put up a good fight. And that is what's most important. Nudges. Even Gwen kind of goes, "Whoa!" Do you know what I mean?
I am still working on it. It will not be quite so easy next time.
That is what I like to hear. Then I shall go harder.
Gwen
That-
Gwen probably gets a like that look that has a hint of I'm hosed. Hi.
How you doing? Gwen Redmond sticks out her hand.
She'll shake it firmly.
They call me Devil's Tattoo.
Menati Strataneki. Stinging nipple.
Nods. Cool. There's a weird, it's odd off her. There's a distinct smell of motor oil off her as well, even in her night. Like she's not wearing a dress. No, she's in biker gear. But she's wearing
You
a
do?
top hat. She is wearing a top hat. You notice one guy in the back of the room is wearing a top hat as well.
Biker gear and top hat. You do have quite an impressive collection. I have not seen its like in some time.
Well, thank you. I got some of these because, well, it's honoring the dead. Some of these for honoring victory, and some of these because why the fuck not?
And she gives kind of a respectful nod because, to the best of my knowledge, tattooing Garu's a complicated process. So it's pretty badass.
Kind of rubs her face. Big man over there was saying you came from Huntsfire.
We did indeed.
Well, shit. Grinning. I haven't heard about the Huntsfire ones in a while. Heard you boys are all soft as puppy shit. She winks. Doing clothes like, ha ha. No, they're not really, but maybe. Smirking.
The spirals we have been combating certainly do not think so.
Oh, that's good. You killing them?
As many as we can.
That's good. Why don't you put their heads on a spike and display them around the place? Everybody does love that.
I appreciate the cleansing nature of fire.
Oh, you're a fire burner. They both get nod at each other like, yes, makes sense.
It has its place. And
I'm
the
sure it does.
wildness
who-
of it appeals.
I'm sure it does. After all, you Furies do like burning things.
Sometimes. Sometimes growing instead.
Oh. Just nods again. So how you finding it?
And she kind of gestures to the hall. It is certainly impressive. And very full.
Yeah, they do love dressing fancy. Mind you, though, I like to dress fancy too. Gestures at the top of her top hat. Like tips it.
She's smiling. She's not smirking, but she's definitely amused.
Turns and looks at Doomclaw. I am always fancy. Always. Even when I'm not. That means I extra am. He'll lean in and nudge Melanthe playfully.
She attempts not to fall over, and is glad that she didn't bother to put on high heels.
Tell me, is this Charlotte girl who's your alpha supposed to be here?
Yes, she's just there, the blonde in the white gown.
Looks over. Oh, would you look at that? Just nods to herself. I'll speak with her later when she's not ditzing around as I see it. Smirking. Charlotte will be my family. Gwen, you have to speak with her. Oh, I know. But how about I just enjoy Melanthe and her fabulous tits? They both look over at you and they say that as well too. Because like, oh,
And she just kind of like spreads her hands in one of those like, what can you do gestures that also kind of like pulls up your shoulders slightly.
don't call lean in. They are very nice, Melanthe. Don't feel embarrassed.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Exactly. It's not this like, haha, confidence. Like, yes. We should never be embarrassed about what we have.
You would have much too much to be embarrassed about. And that
I
would
haven't.
be.
I have nothing to be embarrassed about. I am Doomclaw.
She just kind of pats him on a bicep. Quite simply.
Just nods. And you know, they'll stay chatting to you for a bit. They're quite cordial, you know, so far. And as we travel to, fuck it, we will travel over to the McD.
The McD! Of course.
McD.
Oh,
Yes.
go on.
No, what were you doing?
I was going to say, McD, of course, being the man, the myth, the legend that he is, he's not so much parading around, but, you know, having the casual walk around, introducing himself to a few people, working that charisma for, basically.
Okay, give me 1 second. You see another man, definitely of distinctive get pure breed, walking over. He will be flanked by the Grey Fox, of course. Your new sudden partner in crime. Let me just get him now. My man account's being a dick. And they both walk over. And you'll hear the Grey Foxes. They both walk right over to you. And you'll hear the Grey Fox going, "This is the one, Isaac, I was telling you about. The wily one. The Scottish one." Nazak will look over.
Go on.
No, they'll just look over. You know, these big burly guy. Definitely get pure breed off him.
McD, you know, spins on his heel, looks around. Ah, hello there.
How you doing? Sticks out the hand.
Still holding the tiny champagne flute, passes it over to the other hand, reaches out with his right hand. You know, that big, firm grip.
Oh yeah, his grip is You know, you
Yeah.
feel it. You feel the squeeze. You're like,
Yeah. It's like, that's my fingers you're breaking. But still, smiles. I'm doing absolutely grand. It's a wonderful place, isn't it?
yeah, if you could call it that.
Oh,
Ah, well, there's a lot of fancy champagne at least, so people seem to be enjoying themselves.
hey.
So they call you the Heart of Fury, is that right?
That indeed is my name. I am Alistair McDuncan, known to the nation as Heart of Fury.
Yeah, I see that.
And by what do they know you as, my good man?
Isaac Redmond, they call me the Revelator.
Oh, the Revelator. Now that's got a ring to it. I do like that.
Get a fair knocks. Let's just say I'm second in command of the Redmond family. After all, gotta keep these fuckers in line, don't you?
Hey, indeed you do. And of course, apologies, Raya.
Don't worry about it, kid. Don't need to ride me as long as you don't give me two shit. I won't have to smack you silly, and everybody just gets sad.
But of course, but as always, got to give it the usual procedure, of course. But it's very nice to see a man such as yourself here.
Ah, well, you gotta show up, and make sure the big boss man knows that you're still here pulling the weight. After all, we lean in. So us Ged and Fiona are the ones that are doing all the fucking hard work anyway.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself, Raya. But now just kind of lifts up the glass I had, sips.
Michael goes, "Eh." It takes another drink, and you lean over. So you and the Grey Fox seem to be getting on. Thick as thieves as you Fiona tend to usually be.
I don't know anything what you're talking about. Just like a slight smirk over to the Grey Fox, like,
Eh. Yeah, no, the Grey Fox takes a drink like, don't mind me. I'm looking over at Melandi. Type of drink. You lean in. So you're married then, kid.
Indeed, I am. Indeed, I am. A
Oh, you
wife.
have the look of a married man about you.
Oh, do I now?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And what about yourself?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm definitely married, unfortunately. I got two of the fucking wives, man.
oh, too. Well, lucky you.
Well, you know yourself. It happens one time, and then one time too many. You ride down to a place, and next thing you know, you got a wife.
Yep.
How that works.
Sometimes they just
And
pop out of nowhere.
and good luck telling them that you're not your wife, and you didn't mean to. But 3 days off that stump whiskey, boy, and you're just
That's it. That's it.
you just don't. And then the young ones are going to be like, "Well, you're not the one that's supposed to get married." Well, I'm married. Be damned if I'm not going to set a good example.
Rightly so. Drinks.
You want to know how I knew you were married? Well, you were married.
And how's that?
There are a lot of pretty women here, boy. There are a lot of pretty women here. You haven't looked at one of them yet. Been too busy concentrating on your drink.
What can I say? I do like a good drink.
Oh, yeah, but it tells me something about you, boy.
Oh, what's
Something
that?
very fine. Well, if I told you that now, it wouldn't be much of a file doc now, would I?
Oh, I feel like you're pulling my leg here.
Oh, I'm always pulling my leg, son. That's my job.
Oh, what can I say? You got to learn to take the sly glances. But there's nothing wrong with that. Bit of peeking. But I am a married man, and if you
Bit.
cannot see, lifts up the hand, ring on the finger.
Oh, believe you me, boy, I know all about where that hand's been.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah, looks over at Michael. Michael's like, too many women love me to be married, unfortunately.
Well, there you go. Whatever's right for you, everybody's got a bit of different taste.
Well, you usually have to jump out a window afterwards. Wake. He takes a drink.
Aye, just remember, anything above the 5th story, make sure you have a backup plan.
Oh, I always have a backup plan.
I
It's
didn't.
called It's called improvisation,
I
my
did
dear friend.
not doubt it for a second. Yeah, not a second.
You just hear the fat doctor, yeah, and it's usually my dumbass pulling you out of it. That's what usually happens. Grumbling as he's taking a drink. So you hear from the negotiation then.
Aye, we are indeed.
See y'all friends with the Wolfsmaw crowd, the wild people.
Aye, a lot of my pack are definitely. I've never been up there myself.
Oh, it's a wild place, boy. Wild
Yes.
place. It's cold, isn't it, Michael? Yes, fucking phrasing.
I have heard many stories, lots of stories, lots of them.
Nods. Leaning between you and me. I want to go up there, even though I married a girl from there. Screw that.
You married a girl from. Why is she still up there?
Oh, fuck no. I brought her down here.
Hey, I'd rightly thought so. Just leave her up there, bloody hell.
Yeah, well, let's just say it didn't work out according to plan. You know how the Trimmondsons are.
Oh,
Jesus. They got
oh,
all up in a fuss. It was years ago.
you don't have to explain that one to me. You know.
And takes a drink. Like, they clink glasses like, oh, fucking Trimmondsons, am I right? Looking over suspiciously at Doomclaw, who's like, ha ha, Malante, you jiggle. You know what I mean?
Just that fucking laugh in the background.
Pretty much. We'll lead in. Seem like a good kid. Keep your head about you and you'll be fine over here. You dig?
Sorry, what was that?
You seem like a good kid. Keep your head on about you.
Oh, that's certainly the plan.
Well, good. Now, I'm gonna go and make sure my fucking dad hasn't fucking drank all the liquor again. I will see you later. As he's walking over.
Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure, Raya. The smirk as it's also. Does Michael stay?
Michael's leaned up against one of the fucking tables, looking around. Like casually.
Leans over to Michael. I like him.
Isaac's a good guy. Yeah, he is. He's a good guy. He's the one that keeps law and order really among the Redmonds, you know?
You can definitely see it.
He's a fan of that, I suppose they have to.
I mean, it's literally in the job description.
Oh yeah, him and my dad chatted away the whole time, you know? Both big
Oh.
file taxes.
Oh,
Why?
father was a Philodox.
Yeah, the old man over there points to the old guy.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah. Old Joseph O'Neill. I'm Michael. And Connor's somewhere here, the mopey fucker. That's my other brother. Bigger
Yeah,
broom. You know the sulky types. You know.
Oh, I know the sulky types.
Different mothers, you see, you know. Sensitivity.
Oh, I see. Hey. Oh, it's
Not.
a very delicate. It's a delicate one. That is,
The poor baby just wants to stand around and sit there. Looks like your Black Fury in the suit over there.
Hey, I know. Look at that. That's him there. I can see him now. Oh, that.
Yeah, look at him.
That.
Miserable
face,
fucker.
Face like a smashed crab.
Boy.
Hey, built like a bulldog with a bee in its mouth.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's it.
Just nods, smirking. Don't worry, Alistair. We'll talk after the king introduces himself. Got plenty of time to get to know everybody.
I wasn't worried at all. Just enjoying
Good.
myself.
Well, then get more drink. Taps him on the shoulder.
Well, I will certainly do that, Raya. I'll consider it an order.
You'd better get. He just makes several noises. He starts to walk off. Go, Connor, you grumpy fuck, as he's walking over towards him.
And then McD will go and acquire more drinks.
And I will get Charlotte. I get fucking Charlotte and Johanna together to save time. So Charlotte and Johanna, you somehow are cornered. Not really.
Yeah.
By
What's here?
this man.
As Torna's Manicam fights for its life.
It's an obstinate thing, ain't it?
You're cornered by these two, both, and Johanna as well.
Oh, fuck.
Oh fuck!
She doesn't
so
just
Johanna,
say
you're
that.
Johanna, you're kind of standing there, and you'll, you kind of are hovering by Charlotte, and you'll see this big guy with big long braid and facial tattoos, and the other guy, in the kind of male armament, walking up. They were chatting, and then they see you two and walk over.
Yeah, it's just the softest incoming.
And I think I'll go for Charlotte.
And yeah, she'll turn with a smile, kind of offering out a hand to at least clasp, just
Oh yeah.
signal that it is very good to see a familiar face.
That's very good to see. Yeah, I agree. In the land of all pomp and circumstance. At least they brought Dooncall with me.
You certainly did. I mean, there's like a glance because you can hear Doomclaw a mile away. It's like a rough glance in the direction.
But not the used to jiggling.
So yes, you certainly did.
This is Jasper Von Care.
Yeah, she will pop the polite little, the cursory little curtsy peeps do.
They don't extend the hand.
Yeah, she'll offer hers.
Pleasure.
I'm sure the pleasure's all mine.
Well, they're dressed like that, definitely. Smirking.
Yeah, he earns himself a bit of a grin.
Fucking the Get and the Silverfang both look at Johanna.
And this is my packmate. She'll offer a gesture. And kind of like, there's that little flick of the hand, like, come on, to Yolana.
Yolana Letius, the Prying Blade. Almond Clea, Philodox of the Black Furies. And she'll do that weird little, kind of decline of the shoulders. She's not going to fucking drop a knee in front of all these people. It doesn't seem to be what people are doing right now. But it is certainly a weird half-bowing sign of submission. She is not flashing fucking fierce at these two.
Just shakes, extends his hand and shakes it, signal. Iverson, known as Tears' voice. Jasper will smirk and shake her hand. Jasper Von Care.
A pleasure to meet you both, Riot.
I'm sure the pleasure will be all ours. So, Charlotte, we are both here. Being
We are
diplomats, I see.
Trying our level best.
Well, that's good. Nudges Jasper. Jasper smirks. Yes, well, if we are to have this smooth, we will need to make sure that we're all on the same level playing field.
Oh?
Well, considering the damage done already, we have to be very careful what we do.
I can only imagine.
Lean in. Oh, you have no idea. After all, both you, I, and Signal don't want the same thing.
I mean, the eyebrows just raised the tiniest bit.
I understand you're a friend of Leaf Ulrichson.
I am.
Well, then I would definitely greet you as a friend. I owe him a great debt.
She just nods. I've heard. Well, admittedly, not as much of a story as one would hope, but I'm glad that he was able to do you some good.
Perhaps I will tell it to you one day.
Should very much like to hear it.
But we are Lenin. We are concerned with implications done by previous members of my family, and that I'm trying to rectify. Signal nod. Lean in. My alpha is tense. The insults done here are done, and the king feels a certain way about being disrespected.
I imagine so.
That's why I brought Doonclaw. I'd be a fool to come here alone. Jasper will smirk at him. Yes, you would.
And what do you intend to do, if I may ask?
Well, we'll have to keep our position strong, but that is what my orders are. An insult was done. Our hospitality broken. But I am not foolish enough to start a war. But we must not look weak.
And Charlotte does step in lightly, just kind of like that, you know how you kind of close a conversation by stepping a bit closer to the people involved? And I mean, that's essentially what she's doing. I was never given a true detailed recounting of what exactly was said and done.
Perhaps it's not best said among prying eyes. Jasper leaned in, smirking. Perhaps you should wait, little one. Very eager, smirking.
Very ambitious. Just kind of grins, tips the glass.
The king is arriving. We'll talk after. There is a side chamber. You'll all be introduced and allowed to mingle and stay. If you need to return home, the Moonbridge is available. Negotiations will last a while, but when the ceremony is done, meet me and him in the side room.
Yeah, she'll just kind of look to see if he's indicating a particular one.
He
I
will,
imagine
yeah.
There are several.
Yeah, he'll indicate down the hall.
So
If you wish to bring anybody, bring them, but keep quiet. You never know who's exactly listening here in the hollowed halls.
Of course.
Smirking. Lovely flower. She pats her on the arm as he's starting to walk through the crowd again.
She flicks a curious glance after. Like, you know, lets him get past, but kind of flicks a curious glance to him and then to signaled.
Jasper is new. Took over the head of his family. Cunning man. Very good for a Ragabash. And lean in. The gleaming eye are always cunning.
So I'm given to understand.
He'll lean in. Like, he will lean in, because, you know, Heartsfire and Wolfsmaw are good friends. There are many snakes here. At least the gleaming eye is honest about who he is.
She gives a polite nod as though, you know, like, well, thank you for that very useful and helpful and not even sus. Yeah, the little nod of thank you. And finally picks her head up to kind of glance towards the, you know, the dais. As it is mentioned that people are filing in, just so she's making sure she's not missing something important.
This is what the dais looks like when you get up close to it. You can hear it. It is called the Sun Throne, or the Throne of Helios. You will see two people coming. They actually fade in. Just find it now.
Is to fill the void as you're fighting with Minicam. Charlotte will, offer Goodman Iverson a polite nod and, gesture to Yolana and just kind of begin that slow, polite mingle around to where she can kind of get closer to the rest of her party so that at least when they have to approach, they can do it as a group.
Tiny dancer trails behind. Sisma. A Sisma. At a towering 5'3", she doesn't really filter through the crowds so much as she manages like a slow-rolling fucking pinball. She can't move the masses around her, but she can eventually get where she needs to be. Dear sweet God, these pinstripes make her blend amongst the gentry like a chameleon on a rock. Truly, she is both unseen and in some ways terrible. Ah, ah.
Okay, two people emerge. One definite, the way his dark hair is, thick, Silverfang pure breed. The way he carries himself looks a bit older. Bit of grey in the dark raven long hair. Brilliantly, strikingly blue eyes. In the Umbra, he seems to glow with a definite kind of lunaristic light off him. The woman beside him, that is appearance 9, everybody, in terms of her pure breed and appearance. Appearance 9. She has golden red hair, deep green eyes, and for MacDuncan, the thickest Fianna pure breed you've probably heard. It's about pure breed 4, about as thick as Maria's is. But Jesus fucking Christ, that's a kinfolk. You can definitely tell by the way she's moving and graceful. She's not used to the Umbra like this man is. But my God, do you know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck? And she even has a faint glow about her as well as she's moving. So how are you all reacting? One is Loon, and definitely the other is Sun, which is the man is Loon and the woman is Helios.
So as Duncan stands there, surrounded by his pack, there's just that sense of, something's happening as they start to fade in, and then suddenly, boom! The man appears first, and it's that look about him. It's kind of like that. Oh, like both eyebrows go up, and I was like, wow, that is definitely a fucking powerful and respectful guy. Oh, shit. It's like, I don't know what I was expecting, but that was not what I was expecting. And then suddenly she appears after him. It's just like the eyebrows, if they could fly off the top of his forehead, they would. I just sense that angelic beauty in front of him, just like, Mother of God.
I will now give you a window into Yolana's internal monologue since she knows what's coming soon. Ahem. Don't fuck this up, 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 fuck, don't fuck this up, fuck, cheese, fuck, don't fuck this up.
What about Charlotte Menante?
You can know what's coming and still be totally unprepared. Valanthi's still totally unprepared and just kind of. It's not rude staring. It's just slightly overawed. Like it's impossible to tear your eyes away from these people. Also feels like it would be rude.
Yeah, Charlotte feels like she's living a fucking fairy tale right now. This is a lot. The castle itself is already inherently just kind of magical looking. Let's not remind that it's a no shit castle in the Umbra. A no shit fucking castle. She doesn't come from an area of the world where you can, throw a rock and hit a castle or ruins or anything. It's anomalous. It's insane and it's new and it's breathtaking. And I mean, walking into a live court, not something on a TV show, not something that's a reproduction, but actually holdovers from the way it was done, passed down generations. And then these two, yeah, she's struck kind of mute, really. She's just watching and taking it in and trying to remember to look around the room to see the reactions, but it takes her a hot minute to even begin to glance away. And I feel like she doesn't really get enough that she even gets a read on anyone. She kind of flicks a glance around and almost immediately the eyes slip back to the pair. They can't not.
They walk over, they pass through the crowd. People bow very respectfully.
Oh yeah.
And then they like have this light handhold touch between the two of them. And they will stop in front of Charlotte. They stop in front of Sigurd and Duncan, they kneel and they, very polite. They'll stop in front of Charlotte and the gang.
They also kneel.
Yeah.
Melanthe certainly does.
The deepest of fucking curtsies.
You have traveled a long way from Heartsfire.
Yes.
Nods. It is a shame I could not see your Alpha. He is always enjoyable.
I will be happy to tell him that he is fondly remembered and his presence was missed.
I'll turn and look at the woman. She'll tilt her head, and even just the slightest, they hear the little bits of jingling come from her hair as if she's tied in bells into her braids as well. She looks right at Alistair, staring. You are from the homelands.
That I am, my lady.
What is it like? I have not been.
It is a different kind of beauty, only that your eyes could be able to tell you its true form. My words give it good volume, my lady, but I could never live up to its true beauty.
Do you think it's a smile? Her face kind of tilts. An answer that neither gives nor takes away.
My lady, I find each find their own beauty in the homelands.
Perhaps I will have you sing it. She'll smile over at her husband, and he just smiles back. You'll turn and look at Melanthe. Your name is old.
It is Rhea, yes.
And you at least hold a similar grace to those who came before you.
You are too kind.
It is good to honor those who have come from a strong line, those who have the weight of the world on their shoulders to honor that strong line. Even one such as young as you.
I hope in time to learn to handle it with the grace that you do, Raya.
Just nod his head. The woman on his shoulder, at his side, literally, is almost as if they're one person. Will smile at you as well, and they'll probably turn and look at Johanna then. I hear you are an ice raider, or was it the sea?
It was the sea, Raya.
The woman will tilt her head. Must be exciting.
It is.
My brother said the sea raids are always so much fun.
They certainly can be. When the weather's willing, and the
You
waves
must tell,
want you to have the bounty.
you must tell me about it. I look very forward to hearing at least one of your adventures.
Of course.
Just smile, looks back at her husband, all excited, like, yeah. He'll tilt his head. Then they'll finally rest at Charlotte. A Glasswalker Alpha in my court. That is something I've not seen in a while.
But you have seen it before, Raya. It's a faint
Yes.
smile.
Yes, I've seen it before. I've even seen a Shadow Lord Alpha emerge in my court. Well, not quite an Alpha, still a Beta, but still holding the same power of respect.
I'm glad I could find a way to stand out then.
I have heard your name in the wind. Hopefully it lives up to the reputation that I've been hearing.
I can assure you that it will.
Good. The wife will look at you. I've never met one of your tribe before.
I'd be more than happy to be the first.
Smile. And when she smiles, man, all four of you, that's heavenly.
Yeah,
Perhaps you can tell me a great deed of one of. Perhaps you can tell me a great deed of either you or a hero of your tribe.
I shall spend the evening thinking on it to make sure that the story is truly one worth hearing, especially as a first.
Wonderful. I'll make sure you're all invited to the garden. I wish to hear them personally, and my children. It is always important to teach the youth about the heroes that are coming today.
Bows her head. Be honored.
Then I welcome all of you, by Loon and Helios's grace, to the court of Wisconsin. And when these negotiations begin, I hope that you bring the wisdom of Gaia herself with you, as your sept is known for those of the Winter Wolf. The court will, you turn and acknowledge, say something similar to Wolves Maw about the Lady of the Snow and all that type of shit. The court, the king is the king, that type of shit. Are you guys clapping? What are you guys doing? Do you clap with them and all that, or what's happening?
Go with the flow, man.
If
Of
there's a
course.
swell of applause, gracious me, I am applauding.
Look, it's like my hands are magnetically attracted.
And
Well, then they will neither be the first person to stop clapping nor the last.
The king and queen will eventually go up to the top of the throne, and he will sit. She'll sit down across from him in a separate one, and they'll both just the lightest touch of hands together. But they do smile at each other. It's very loving, very genuine.
It's so wholesome.
It is. This stuff takes you back. It's very genuine. And then he'll rest his hand on his chin, and then he'll go, "And now, my gracious court, eat, drink, and be merry. For on the morrow we will have our negotiations with the men of the snow and the children of the winter wolf. But for now, in the good words of my dear cousin Michael, eat, drink, and be merry."
Yolana looks at Charlotte.
And yeah, it's go with the flow as far as whatever the mass court response to this is.
Oh, they all start fucking chowing
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, she will take a moment with the rest of her group. Just to make sure they're aware that at some point we'll step aside to meet with a friend of mine. I suggest all of us do our best to make connections, make contact, learn what we can learn. Be open-minded, have open eyes, open ears.
Right.
We'll see what there is to learn.
And yeah, I imagine if that is what everyone is doing now as far as eating, is this like there are large tables, or is this like there's little buffet type tables and you
Little
get finger
buffet type
food?
tables, essentially. Yeah, finger food.
Tiny things of finger food and little plates so that you can mill around.
Yes, everything on a stick. By which I mean a very fancy toothpick.
I mean, like, given that we're in the court of Wisconsin, and there's the king and the queen, and this is a special occasion of sorts, I imagine that there was fucking silverware cast specifically for this event that people will take back home afterwards, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys
kind of
can go up
figured.
and talk to the king. Guys could go up and talk to the king and queen if you want now. You have I can stay around for another bit, but I will be doing more scenes of this, so you have me for another bit.
At the very least, well, people do what people do. Do I need to roll anything to keep? Essentially, just kind of an eye on the flow of the room, who's talking to who, at least of the people that have been picked out to me.
Give me a perception empathy.
How happily
Is
they're
that
talking
something
to
all of
each
us
other,
can do?
etc.
Yeah. If that's what you are having Malante do, you can do that.
Not a
What's
bad
else to do?
idea.
What's Alistair doing?
Alistair is being best damn fucking galliard he can be. He's going around meeting people. He's gonna have socializing and all. Being the guy, the happy, smiley fucker that he is.
Give me a charisma expression roll.
And I'm gonna spend willpower on this roll.
And Johanna, what are you doing, Doom?
Doom Patrol is trying to politely eavesdrop. Like, yeah, it's one thing to like kind of insert yourself into circles of people who are talking. That is not okay. It's another thing to happen to be walking by and maybe hear something juicy, but don't look at them, goddammit.
So give me first of all perception alertness, and second of all dex stealth.
Okay.
Am I counting my pure breed on this or not?
Yes. All right. Put your successes in the side chat.
Okay, and the deck stealth, I'm going to spend a willpower on.
Okay. What about you, Charlotte?
Am I supposed to?
Peony. Okay. So, for Melanthe, I'll go with you first. The tension seems to be definitely between the Bordeaux's, particularly Daniel and Wolfsmaw. Little bit of the Fianna too. They're not too happy. You can see the guy named Connor. He is. I'll even get him. Connor seems to be eyeballing fucking Doonclaw like I will fucking. Woo. Pretty much that stare essentially.
Oh, that's not healthy.
Fucking. For Charlotte, in terms of the general flow of the room, the Von Cares Jasper is very he seems to be on his own. There is mention of a man named Hugh that he but he's not invited to this, and you do notice that name definitely seems to cause a lot of attention, particularly among the Redmond family. But Jasper seems to hold his own in the room, quite confident, quite capable, and he seems to be almost deflecting, like, yes, let's not mention that, and oh, mine is wine. You know what I mean? He seems to have a very good relationship, however, though, with Isaac Redmond. Very good relationship. Two of them seem to get on. For Bob, with the perception and alertness and the deck stealth, you are fine. Nobody sees you. You can overhear. You can overhear some talk about Daniel after fucking running his clave through fucking Cassidy Redmond's hand after what happened with the fucking Wolfsmaw incident, and it's just made things worse, essentially. It's now putting the Redmond in the pockets of the camp of Wolfsmaw, who are negotiating with them openly. Signod was even invited into the Redmond camp to meet Lewis himself. That's how well this is going. They are very happy with this. In terms of the other Bordeaux, and the Fianna, well, Michael always seems to be negotiating something. In fact, you would also hear that they're in talks with people from Heartsfire. One of those is particularly Leif Ulrichsen. That he has assured us that the Ulrichsen family is always supportive of the Von Care line. You see him talking, Michael and Jasper talking about that quietly. For MacDuncan, you are a big hit with the Redmond family. A big hit with the Get. Particularly Gwen, the tattoo girl, and fucking Isaac. And you're also a big hit with the old man. He seems to be watching you as you're dancing and jigging around the place and chatting and laughing. For Bob as well, you would have noticed him observing you. Doesn't seem to have caught on to your ship, but he's watching you walk around, essentially. He's keeping note. He doesn't speak, if only barely. Just takes a sip of wine. But MacD, you'll see him as well. He seems to be watching you with an amused smirk on his face. But he sits off in the rafters watching everybody. You get that impression. I am watching you, you are watching me. Both of you notice that.
Okay.
Yes. For anyone looking at the king and queen, those two just seem to be quietly talking. She's talking to him about something, and he's just casually listening and nodding. It's like, yes, yes, yes. And for Charlotte, I gave you successes. So yes, everybody got their successes.
Yes. Well then, mingling.
And Here's a curveball I'm about to throw. I'm gonna do it to MacD. MacDuncan, fucking, where's she now? You're chatting away and being, the big, loud, boisterous, like, Gwen will turn and ask, so I've been hearing about your new worm foe. Who the fuck is that guy?
The new one? 4. Oh,
I heard there was a challenge or something. My sister wrote to me about it.
Well, I tell you what, it is a story I do not know a massive amount because he was already Wormfoe when I arrived.
Oh, well, shit.
I know, but
Well,
I tell you, it
who
is
is it
an
then?
interesting one. Well, he leans down to whoever he's talking. Is it just Gwen or is it?
Oh, Gwen is leaning down. She even yanks Isaac down conspiratorially. He's like, god dang it. As he gets
Yeah.
pulled down.
Yanks him down. He's like, well, I'll have you know, from what I've heard, a bit of the rumors and stuff. But either way, his name is as I forget his actual name.
You forget
That's
the
the one.
day's name.
I couldn't remember. I was like, I don't want to get this wrong. He leans down. Julian Orlov, known to the nation as Skyripper.
Really?
Oh, I heard it was quite a mighty challenge as well.
Really now?
Mm.
Skyripper, you say? And Mr. Julian Orlov. She looks at Isaac, and Isaac gives her the look like you can roll Peony and Isaac's expression essentially.
I'm rolling out. Give me that penny. It is not my greatest dice pool, but I will roll it either way. 1 at 6.
Isaac has exactly as Katie put that of God dang it expression. It is all written across like God dang it.
Right? It's an interest. From what I've heard, it's quite the
Oh wow. Indeed.
But fair is fair. He won.
Oh no! Puts her hands on her chest. Alistair, of course he won. After all, he's the better Silver Fang. That right? Nods his shoulder. Them Silver Fangs are always so better about themselves.
Clicks his fingers and just does the fingers like, yeah. See, all that.
Follow that Silver Fang with your Duncan.
You cut up to it. I have no idea what you said.
Do you follow that Silver Fang with your heart's content, Mac Duncan?
My heart's content? Gwen, it's like we haven't been talking for the past hour. I follow him with a heart of fury.
Just laughing. She takes a good fucking goblet. I like that. Last like that use of the D name. That was good. I like that.
There is a reason I got it.
I like that. That was a clever use of that right there.
Yeah. I thought you'd like that one. See, I'm brilliant at parties. Brilliant.
Grins, takes a drink. You hear that, Daniel? Daniel looks over with the expression of the doomed look over because he didn't hear anything. He's like, what? Mr. Julian Orlov is the worm foe of the Sept of Heartsfire. This man will go laughing limb for him, isn't that right, Alistair? She puts her arm around you, taking a drink.
Well, he certainly proved himself as a worm foe. Certainly proved himself as a good leader.
Somebody has to roll rage.
But Duncan just sitting here like, I am being political and deflecting because I know that name has a little bit of taboo around it.
He spent some willpower. Mac Duncan, that room looks like he's about to explode. Do you know what I mean? It's just like the table gets gripped, essentially.
Oh. But have you heard about the Right Master? Oh,
The right man. Oh, I know that big wolf from anywhere. He's
Isn't
still
he?
alive.
he's still alive. He's doing very well. Very well.
You don't like me.
And now, why ever is that, Gwen?
Well, I laced his meat with fucking laxative after he bit me when I was young.
It's just the fake kind of slap across the face of himself. It's like, gasp.
He didn't like that. He was howling about it for days. It was great. I blamed it on the ragged bash. Got away with it too.
And you got away with it. You. Well, I like that.
They don't call me the devil's tattoo for nothing, boy.
And damn fucking right they don't. Hey.
Meanwhile, the fucking he just stormed. I mean, the windows fucking door flies open as he storms down the corridor.
Alistair just continues like, oh yeah, so what about this and just things that it's totally not about the worm fur.
I'm going to deflect everything I can. But yeah, you guys all see that. Even the alpha turns to look over. The queen looks over as well. Like he doesn't look as perturbed, but it's like, that was noticeable. Meanwhile, Gwen just leaned on. Wasn't something I said?
You know exactly what you said.
Mac Duncan, I would never say a thing.
Oh, really? I've been talking to you for, checks his watch, 53.5 minutes.
Alistair Mac Duncan.
What?
If anything, you were the one who said it because you were so. I can't believe you do that. You know, she gets
No.
like the face starts to water up.
Oh, you're playing it on me. I'm not saying
would
it's
never-
wrong to say it. I say things how they are.
I
think
know.
I'm going to sit
That's-
here and lie.
I know. That's why I like you.
Exactly. Kind of
Grins.
Look, am I a ragabash or a galliard? I'm not a liar. Got to tell the story as it is.
I know. That's what's so beautiful about it.
Hey, no. Don't you ever forget that.
Oh, don't worry, I haven't. Rubs his beard.
It's a slight
Yes.
wing, just like, yeah.
He rubs his beard with a slight scratch. Just like Agnes does, Mac Duncan, which is eerie.
Yeah, it's just like,
Whoa.
it's like scratches the beard. He looks down. Spends willpower. She touched my beard. She touched my beard.
Grins. Nah, I'm gonna go. Isaac's about to have a fit.
And it's
So
going to cause more controversy.
I never cause controversy.
Oh, don't you get this past me, Gwen. That's why I like you.
Isaac is like, you get over that, Gwen. You know what you did, pointing. She's good.
But he's like, I know what you did, you cheeky little.
Yeah, that's what he's like. You get the fuck over there, girl. Come on, we gotta go home before Louis. Get the fucking pushing, essentially. It was a quiet time, Gwen. A quiet time. She's like, Isaac, stop yelling at me.
Well, it was wonderful meeting you both. I hope we meet again soon.
Oh, don't worry, Mac Duncan. You're gonna be around for a while. After all, you're negotiating.
You're
Winks.
damn right I am.
Yeah, and Isaac is hurriedly pushing her off, essentially. Like, get the fuck over there. And you don't know it's like fucking Daniel storm out like a thunderstorm. Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna wade that far, but like there's the across the room, like what the fuck, and like since McDuggan is even vaguely in the same area code because this is a big fucking room, she, like glances over and like there's the Procore code, like what?
And as they leave, they're shoving each other out as people watch. But Duncan just like just has a smile to himself, just carries on talking to whoever's next to him, like nothing happened.
Well, I think we'll kind of pause and be like, what on earth? I am so not getting involved in that. I'm over here.
Here's
Very
a
strategically
question.
over here.
Does anybody follow him out?
No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
They let the angry rune go angry rune. That's what they do.
Yep.
Okay.
That motherfucker has a clave on his hip. Nobody's following him.
Okay. Good point. Solid point there, buddy.
Yep. Melanthe is drifting strategically in the direction of Angry Bond, but can be intercepted if necessary. But he looks like an interesting human being.
Angry Bond. Beautiful.
Let me get him.
Poor Yolanda is just like, you can't see me. I'm John Cena.
The name's Bond. Connor Bond.
But yeah, you come over to Connor, yeah. You look over as he's sitting there taking a slow drink, eyeing the fuck out of Doonclaw, like, oh, fuck, I'm fucking you. But eventually see Melanthe, and you'll look up with not that expression on his face, but just a surprised look. Damn it. Yeah, he'll see Melanthe.
You look so serious, Rhea.
One has to be serious in an event like this, after all. Did you not see that fucking clown going off with his fucking clave like he owns the place?
Ah. He's very boisterous.
He's a fucking silver fang. They know next to nothing anyway.
Wait, who is he glaring at?
Oh, he's glaring at Daniel, who stormed off. And then he's glaring back at Doonclaw again. And then he looks at you. He takes a slow sip of the whiskey he has. But anyway, what can I help you with?
You just looked. She kind of shrugs slightly and gestures towards the crowd. Everyone else seems deep in conversation, and you're here then.
I don't like the people here. Father says I should socialize, but... Well, I'm sure you've met me brother Michael. Or the Grey Fox, as he likes to dub himself.
Ah, I have. I have.
Yeah, I can tell by your face.
He is charming.
I bet he is. And he's already, he takes a drink. You got the thistle anyway.
I cannot help but think that it means something, but he refuses to tell me.
Yeah, he takes the drink slowly. It means something, alright.
Well, how much have I embarrassed myself by letting him put it in my hair?
I wouldn't say embarrassed. It's more intriguing, if anything. Normally gives that to kinfolk.
She kind of pauses, like glass halfway to her mouth. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Which ones, by chance?
I'll take your pick. Gestures. Just leaning back. Ones with... I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to insult you. You look angry enough as it is.
I'm not angry. Actually, this has been a... I should not say surprisingly pleasant experience, but less distressing than one might have supposed. Everything is very intimidating when you first encounter it.
I imagine it is, yeah.
Intended to be, I'm certain, but...
Oh, yeah. Blast you off your senses and you'll agree to anything.
It is always easier to get things out of people who are very distracted. But...
Of course. My brother does it very well.
Mhm.
Smirking.
I know. But I'm being rude. Melanti Stratanaiki.
Nods. Connor O'Neill.
So have you a stake in the followings, or are you simply here?
I'm the
The
youngest son.
publication.
I am the youngest son. I don't have a stake in anything. Smiling, taking a
Still
drink.
family?
Oh, aye, but what was it my father said? Connor, you need to stop shooting people. You need to stop being in a rune even though you are in a rune. So in a way, I don't know what I was saying. He takes a drink again, very sarcastically.
That sounds suspiciously like all of the people that keep telling me I have too much fury. I am working on
Why,
it.
are you in a rune?
No. At the urge.
Well, I suppose. No, maybe you don't need that much fury. Smirking.
Oh, don't you start. That's not fair.
There's a chuckle. Hey, it's in a rune, I'm telling you. It's not like I'm a ragabash.
I have seen Ragabashas do things that runes do. I imagine you
Yeah,
are clever enough to do the opposite.
No. I mean, if a motherfucker's gonna piss me off, I'll lay him in the ground.
Perhaps not so much of that needed today or tomorrow, I hope.
Oh, well, I would dust my suit.
Although,
Like,
she kind of like glances towards the door where Angry Rune stalked out. Eh,
I'm not going after him. He is a clave.
I am not foolish enough to get in his way now. I have, she kind of like reaches up and rubs her nose, which was recently broken. Experience enough with that.
Well, at least you're smart.
I learned anyway.
Just raises the glass. Yeah, well, here's to learning.
She'll tink her glass off of his. Have you tried the little mushroom cakes? Very good.
No, I haven't. I try one.
You should.
Just nods idly.
I will have to see if I can get my little sister some of the recipes eventually. She likes to cook.
Oh, you have a sister.
3.
Well, don't tell. Don't tell. Oh, leads forward.
2
Really?
brothers.
Huh. Better not tell Michael, otherwise, well, we're closer than you think.
It would be entertaining to watch him with Artemisia, I think.
I'll be his 5th wife if it is.
It would be interesting to see someone try to nail her down.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Well. He leans back. Guess it will be.
Do the two of you have any other siblings?
Gestures to the queen. It's our younger sister.
Oh,
Yep. Well, she's Michael's half sister. She's actually my sister.
Oh.
Nods. Different moms, you know?
it's been known to happen.
Oh, yeah. Michael's mom, wild thing, ran off. Our mom, she died about 2 years ago, so
I'm so sorry.
yeah, it happens.
That does not make it easier.
Oh, no, but at least we're all grown.
It helps, but it stings no less. My mother was still shattered when grandmother died, and it was long past what one might have expected for one of us. But those are sad things. We were told to drink and be merry. So,
Well, that's doing that so far.
I'm trying. And trying to be careful with the wine. All of these names already have my head spinning.
Well, then definitely don't take more martinis off my brother. He likes them shaken, not stirred.
And she kind of wiggles the glass, which is still mostly full, despite the fact that you're pretty sure she's sipped it 2 or 3 times. Is this my second? It is
Oh dear
very
me,
full of gin.
Melanthe, we need to get you more drink ASAP. He pours you more glasses.
Why does this keep happening? Every time I go to a gathering and suddenly my hands are full and I'm not allowed to eat anything else.
It's fine. Just keep drinking. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. Tell me more about your sisters. He leans forward.
She will. Now that I've finally, named all of them.
And yeah, you hear the Batik in the background during the whole time as he leans forward.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And we will get to fuck it. Charlotte and Johanna will see this anyway because you do. You will see the alpha the king gets up and steps sideways and comes back with these two holding each side of him. They look nervous as shit. It's like the.
Well, that's new and different. Charlotte will even pause midway over to hug Doomclaw, because Doomclaw always needs to be hugged. But, oh hey.
You can definitely tell they're his kids. They both have the same dark hair, but they also have the girl in particular has that kind of wild curly hair the mother has.
Oh my. Yeah, at least initially, I mean, them being nervous, makes sense and is natural. She will try not to be straight up staring, but glimpsing over to see, what kind of encouragement they're getting, who is approaching them, if anyone, how people are reacting to them.
Michael runs up and picks up Isabel and hugs her, and hugs the both of them. They actually seem very relaxed around him.
That is a good sign.
But again, they seem nervous. They're just kind of like, we just got pulled over here. We're not ready for that. The girl in particular she kind of clings to her father, essentially. She's even whispering frantically at him, and he'll just nod.
She will finish her objective of giving Doomclaw a hug, because it must be done. But, once she has been half crushed to death and tried not to completely ruin her dress in the process, will go and essentially put herself in a place where she is reasonably available and towards the front of the room. Find a seat that has been rendered unoccupied. Have a drink idly in hand. Still be watching, natter at whoever's next to her, but just kind of be nearby. Because sooner or later, they're probably going to be encouraged to put her down, and who knows?
You see the mother get up and take the girl by the hand as well as the young man, and they'll walk past, and she'll turn to Charlotte and Johanna. My husband is trying to indulge my children, but they are not comfortable in the Umbra. Would you care to retreat into the Thalorian and I'll tell them at least 2 of the stories you promised. Or would you like to hear my daughter play? She's very talented with the piano.
Either or both would be absolutely fine with me.
Or if you would rather stay here and indulge the party, of course, I would not deprive you, but I must take care of my children.
Yolanda looks at Charlotte for a second.
There's nothing to be lost in prioritizing your family.
Just smile, of course. Heavenly smile.
Charlotte has another just distinctly gay moment. Just for that beautiful, perfect second.
Like, goddamn.
Because Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I am still not used to the guru comings and goings, and my husband is eager to get me and my children involved, even though this place is a bit uncomfortable for either of all of us involved.
It's taken some getting used to for all of us, I think. Just had more time.
Nods. It's more that they have to have specific things attached to them to cross. I have, well, just a smile.
It's just kind of like that, And her just trying to imagine, because, yeah, that sounds pretty fucking weird.
Yolanda looks at Charlotte. Just like, kind of leans in.
Don't fuck a glance.
I feel a favor is being asked here. I can be your hands in this.
I'm not gonna lie, Charlotte looks not skeptical, just kind of like, really? Because, let's face it, Yolanda has never given the impression that she was especially kid-friendly.
Aforementioned, the kids look about like 18.
Still. I mean, she gives a shrug. And you go first.
Hmm. Good queen, I'd be happy to accompany you and yours.
Just nods. Just look back at her husband. He'll nod and he'll reach down and touch each of the kids, take out a small bangle bracelet and roll it on each of their sleeves. You'll even feel the gnosis discharge as he does it, and then yeah, they shift. Forcibly shift.
Kind of lie. I feel like
Yolanda
there's some
probably
kind
slower
of
about it.
like some slightly visceral reaction to just like, oh, that's uncomfortable.
Huh.
Even from an external view.
And
Before you,
she'll-
like, Yolanda even
Yeah, you-
fades out.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Just look at Charlotte. I promise I can do right by you. Just trust me, yeah?
She just gives a light nod. I'll be along before too long. Give you plenty of time to tell your story.
The
Yes.
queen will walk over to the husband, just hold his hands, and she'll close her eyes, and you'll see him encouraging her, and she'll take the time to actually step sideways.
Best of luck to you, Charlotte. I have a lot to tell later. And she'll step sideways.
Yeah, again, you're not in the castle. No way. It's very ordinary. Very fancy rooms, though. Looks like you're in fancy old colonial style places.
That's cool. Probably takes a second for it to actually find out. It's like kind of that awkward, slow traipsing down the hall till she figures it out.
And you'll eventually be led into a room that looks much like this. There are some chairs, though. It's not as sparse as this picture looks.
She does
Yeah.
find herself dazzled. This is more wealth in one place than she's seen in her entire life. So that there is a moment of feeling very small in all of this grandeur.
The queen will turn very calmly and will say, would you like to hear Isabel play before your story, or?
Oh, of course, I'd be honored.
She'll turn to Isabel and a more precise 1 sec. There you go. With her big, thick, curly raven hair. We'll begin to play. And I'll put in the side chat what she plays. And her brother will pick up the violin. And I will roll for Isabel. So, plus her pure breed. That's all she needs. 4, 5, 6. She is. It's stunning. In terms of like skills, she's incredibly talented. In terms of the beauty, it's not something Johanna probably is used to. It's very soft. It's very melodic. It's kind of sad in a way.
She definitely listens. Like it's well executed, regardless of what feelings it might evoke.
Oh, very, very technically executed.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even if you're not like particularly moved, you're still kind of very stuck in what's going on because just from the skill alone, really.
Yes. Yeah, and then the queen will turn and look over. My brother taught her how to play.
It was she's very good.
Smile. Oh, she has the heart of a Fianna in her, even if she is Silverfang.
I can tell.
And she'll set herself down very gracefully. The kids, the two people will sit down. The fella kind of looks at you with curiosity. She's incredibly shy. But the queen will turn. So tell us of your raids on the sea.
Yes, the rates on the sea. The family I come from here in America, we're in a place in California out near the Pacific. We these days reside in a sept called Heartwind. Heartwind is a beautiful place just outside of San Diego, near the water but not on it. We have to journey for that. Instead of one large ship, like some of our ancestors did, we take many small boats. Because the ships that these servants of the worm use, they're like big, ugly leviathans on the sea, prowling and pushing everything out of their way, armed all the way from the bottom to the top, because they expect people like us to come around. So when we come upon these ships in the night, we're like a swarm, coming from all sides. They fight us from the get-go. No matter what we do, they always seem to see us coming. We're fast enough to get on them then. There's nothing quite as exciting as throwing your hook onto the edge, feeling it catch and knowing you have to climb in seconds before they're upon you. The things that guard these ships, they look like men at a glance from a distance. They're certainly not. Over time, it seems these corporations have figured out how to breed true monsters, all armor and iron, prowling the place like it's a sort of forest. They fight ferociously. For us, we're better. We found ways using arrows, blessed by the spirits. We blind them, we bind them from all sides. For every one of these creatures, 4 of us attacks. But then comes the real fight. See, it's all simple in the movies. People fight right out on the decks until things are done. But the real fight's always in the belly of the beast. The inside of a ship is a claustrophobic place. Too narrow to swing an axe. Too short to fire a bow. Even Furies, we still use these blessings of modern man, these guns. One in front, one behind, kneeling so 2 barrels fire forward. Before the things that keep deep close. Those aren't worth talking about. They are nasty customers. Tunnel by tunnel, room by room, we go forward. Sometimes in pitch darkness, sometimes so lit it's blinding. There seems no rhyme or reason to the way they light these places. But it's always in the very belly of the ship, the cargo hold, that we find what we're looking for. See, even if the thing in these ships is wormish, or in some cases not, we can't just destroy the ship. We can't just put that taint in the sea. We have to take it. So we take the guts of these beasts, we drag them up through the narrow halls, we drag them up through the rooms, we load them onto our boats, and we go to a place where it can all be properly cleansed. And sometimes, just sometimes, there's something left after we're finished. I've seen cases of gold containing a lifetime's worth of wealth. Piles of money so large that you could swear there'd be no way to lift them by any machine onto that ship. And barrels of things I'm happy aren't in cars these days. They carry so much, and they guard it with the worst monsters, but we always manage to take it, as though the sea wills us there and wills us back. We don't always do it for gain. We do it because it's the right thing to do. Come on the wind, we come on the waves. We fight from the heart. That's why our sep's called Heartwind.
She kind of stops, realizing she really just kind of got into that for a second. Like,
The queen will kind of tilt her head nodding, and she'll, seem engaged and interested, and the young man seems to just nod. It's almost like he's studying, like, yes. The young girl, the younger one, Isabel, looks mortified. She's like, oh. She even says, that's not how my uncle used to talk about the sea raid. Sounds awful.
Well, it's true that there's often a horror fighting the creatures of the worm. It's equally true that the only thing we can do is fight it. It's important, however, that we fight from a place of love. We love Gaia. We love our sisters. We love the life that springs through the world. So we ride out to oppose things that would decay the tide and kill the land. Maybe parts of it are ugly. It's true. But we act with purpose. It's important to act with purpose, to not just fight for fighting's sake. You have to keep hope alive.
Just nods idly. Yes, I suppose. Yes. No, William will just nod like, yes. No, that's... Yes. Hope alive. I like that. Just nods to himself. Isabel kind of remained quiet. He just seems to nod. And he'll smile and he just nods enthusiastically. And the queen will. That is a very wonderful and honest story. Most would try and fantasticalize it or over exaggerate it. It is good to see someone who is honest about who they are. It's refreshing.
Well, my Philodox, not a Galliard. I couldn't weave a tale as fine as McDuncan. My,
Even Philodox's lie. Smirks.
perhaps, but many of us, they tell you from day one to the point where you can recite the litany in your sleep. You're here to enforce the litany. That's true. We are. But a Philodox is also, in many ways, as a Theurge keeps spirits, a keeper of souls. We're the compass to the pack, even if we're not leading it. If we were to corrupt our morals, who would guide the others?
You're correct. Smile. I am well versed in your auspice. After all, my father was one, and being a kinfolk under a Philodox rule it's an intriguing matter entirely. Smile.
And Yelena has a kind of a polite smile of her own.
Wow. I'm glad you could teach my children the ways that they are meant to be taught. Even from different perspectives as one of the Black Furies.
I'm flattered.
One must learn all aspects of each tribe in order to fully understand what the nation is. That is what I have been teaching them.
To be honest, before I came to Hearthfire, I'd only ever met Furies and Stargazers. It's been interesting seeing so many different tribes in one place.
I can imagine so. I can imagine so. In a way, I imagine a younger version of myself would be envious to have such curiosity be touched on you again.
It's a new world.
A nod. She reaches over and ruffles each of her kids' hair, very fondly, very motherly. The younger fella keeps an eye and watches and studies, and the girl shrugs it off and goes back to idly picking at the keys. She seems very subdued, whereas he just seems curious and nodding, and he just very engaged in the information you're processing with him. He even takes out a small notebook and starts writing, drawing actually.
And Donald try to compose herself. She's not used to these kinds of things.
Oh. What are you drawing there, young man?
And he'll look up, like, oh, yeah, rub the back and flip the page over, and it is one of those big boats that you described. It's the beginnings of it.
Oh.
It looks like people with ships climbing up on it.
Oh. You're very talented.
Well, it is good to appreciate a story. Most people in the nation have the word of mouth, and sometimes it is good to paint a picture to remember it by.
My mother said similar things. She was, is still an artist.
Just nods.
I have fond memories of room back home. I grew up in a different place called Santa Monica. She had painted the whole thing herself. And on the ceiling, she had she'd drawn this version of the night sky. It was almost like something Van Gogh would have done. I have so many memories of just looking at it. Such a dense piece of work, it took me years to figure out what was going on.
That sky out there is quite beautiful.
Yes. Yes, it does.
When you look at him, he has those kind of grayish eyes like his father does. When he smiles, it's very reminiscent of the Queen. You know, that soft, gentle smile. Maybe one day I will go look for myself.
I can tell you now, it's certainly warmer.
You'll chuckle. Yes, definitely. But I would like to see a night sky like that.
She smiles, and I'm not gonna lie, some of it's kind of awkward. Like, this isn't quite Yolana's cup of tea. It's just something she kind of volunteered for. Like,
Did you sit on the boats and watch after you finished your raids and things were cleansed? Did you look up at the sky?
From time to time, sometimes we're faster than others. After a raid, many times we did not suffer losses. If we did, immediately we would have to see to the dead. And the night would be there, yes, but packs would mourn. We would mourn with them. But those times where we didn't,
What did it feel like?
losing people you consider sisters is painful.
Not to
You
losing
know
people,
that
to look up at the sky and be free like that.
it's comforting. You see, before creation, there was just the dark. But now when you look up, the night sky is coated with light. I know there are some people who feel that times are upon us that are less than ideal. But compared to the darkness of nothing, I'd say the light's winning.
Mm. I imagine it must frighten you, that freedom.
Not really.
To have it all at your fingertips and not know where you're going.
Maybe when I was still human, but mine grew. There'll always be a piece of me that will know where to go, what to do in the wild.
But there'll always be a piece of you that's human and afraid.
Suppose you're right.
So I imagine it's quite an exciting feeling to feel both comforted and afraid. Wouldn't it?
It's a heightened sense of things for sure. I've been learning how to find it out here.
Imagine it's quite liberating. To be
Yeah.
at peace like that.
and she just kind of smiles because now she's kind of wrapped up in her own shit.
He just goes back to drawing very idly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Charlotte. Anytime you want to like save Yolana from her own bumbling,
Yeah. I'm presuming it's somewhere she can readily find. Yeah, sooner or later Charlotte will have had her conversations and stepped aside to slide across. Carefully, taking her time with it, and yeah. Last thing she needs is that kind of social faux pas.
But
Then when
smile when she sees you.
And yeah, when she's on the other side, it's a quick glance around to assess where the fuck she is, because I imagine the world is not the same to Lurian side as Giant Castle.
Katie.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll turn around and just kind of offer the reflex smile. I hope I'm not interrupting.
I was merely watching your pack mate and my children debate.
No.
She says with an amused smirk on her face.
Yeah, she'll wander over. Debate. Lean over Yolana, like, just look, see what she's on about. Kind of teasing at her.
it's more of a dialogue, really.
Oh. But yeah, she'll do the little thing where you sweep your skirt forward and like sit yourself down. Anything interesting?
Nature of instinct, reason in the wild.
Oof. It's loaded. She'll look over at the kids.
One seems to be drawing, the other's like idly plucking at the keys, like keeping removed from the conversation.
And finally, we'll look over to the queen herself. I admit, growing up on Hearthfire, I've only heard so many stories about anyone else. But I could share my own experiences.
I would be delighted to hear them.
There's a bit of a grin.
Always delighted to hear.
I'm not sure they quite meet up with expectation as far as fantastical Glasswalker antics, but they were certainly experiences. Dare I ask what kind of story you want?
Tell us. You're the story bearer, after all.
There's a little bit of a nod. Fair enough. In that case, she ponders it for a second, like flits through a series of memories. You can see her kind of rolling up, considering it. I could tell the story about how I had my life saved by kinfolk. Kind of glances over to see if either of the kids like immediately react.
They look up like, buh.
It's a teasing little smile on her face. True story. There are a pack of spirals near to our sept, hiding in the city, hiding in its underbelly. Find them dug in under churches, under cabins out in the woods, even in the basements of businesses in the city. We're everywhere. It's almost impossible to root them out. It's like we're nesting. And at one point, they had gotten a hold of some of our kinfolk, and we did recover them, but they'd been hurt, not just physically, and one of them became very removed, even from the people that were his friends and family. He grew quieter, he separated himself, and I grew concerned for him. So one night I went seeking him out, to the bars that I knew he frequented. Found him there. Paid his tab. And we began to talk. And it was very clear that his trust had been eroded. That he was expecting to be babysat, expecting that his family had sent me, and I reassured him that no. I was there because I worried for him. Because I worried for him as much as I would a member of my own family, any other member of the Sept crew or kin. And over a couple of drinks, he believed me. But as the night wound to a close, as it got nearer and nearer to the time that the bar would close, that people would have to move on, he didn't want to go back to the Sept, to the safety there. He found it smothering, you know? Wanted to stay out in the city. And, well, with the spirals skittering around under the floorboards, I wasn't willing to leave him out there alone. So he led me to where he'd been staying, storage room on the second floor of another bar. Just somewhere he could get away and not have to think about all of it. I went into this little storage room, just, some blankets, a little cot on the floor. And I noticed the smell of smoke. I mean, he does smoke, so I didn't think too much of it. And we settled down there, and I just tried to offer him a sense of security until he slept. I even managed to nod off myself, but it was early in the morning. Still dark. Very dark. That I woke to the sound of noises down below us. Something being knocked off a table, creaks from the floorboards. And I woke and realized that where I had set an arm around him to make him feel safe, he was tense. He was awake. He was hearing it too. So, without a pack link to use, I pulled out my phone, let the Guardians know that there was danger, there was a kinfolk with me. And I very carefully began to pick my way across the floor, crawling, trying not to make noise. These spirals had killed members of friends of mine. I knew they were dangerous. I knew it was something I shouldn't be trying to take alone, not without a pack. So I creeped carefully to the door, took a hold of the knob and held it shut, held it stiff so that it would feel like it was locked. Leaned carefully against it, listened. It was the damnedest thing. I looked back over at this kinfolk. His name's Felix. And even though he knew the threat that was out there, I looked over and he was pulling out a gun, preparing to defend himself. Not shaking, not weeping, but readying himself to fight. And I had to sit there and listen as something came up the stairs, as it passed the doorway, paused, snuffling. That's when I realized it was actually very clever. Been burning things in the room to cover the scent of his pure breed. To cover the scent of his body, even. So there was nothing for them to pick up, but this strange gas began to coil through the cracks in the door. I held my breath. Finally, slowly it moved on. And it wasn't until it was out of hearing range that I even dared to sigh in relief. And he came to join me at the door, and we listened, waiting for an opportune moment to carefully get out. I was determined to make sure he got out. to make sure that by the time the Guardians came into range, he'd be safe. It'll be passed off to them. So we waited. But rather than the noise clearing away, the footsteps came by again. And when it passed the second time, he leaned over and told me that they never checked twice. That's when I decided we had to move. So, making sure he was ready, waiting for the steps to get as far as I could hear them going, I flung the door open. I sent him down the hall. He said there was a ladder at the end, way onto the roof. And as I blew out into the hall, these hulking creatures, they looked like Krynos Guru, but they were malformed, something that the spirals had created. Horrible little misborn things. But they began to chase, they began to approach, and the full-sized one, Column the Silence, she's looking between them as she speaks, came up the stairs. I saw him for just a moment. And while Felix ran, I took Krynos, hearing the floorboards creak under me, hearing them protest and start to give. But I figured if I could get him out, if I could buy him enough time, that'd be enough. But he fell, running for that ladder. And so I turned and, running, grasped him up carefully, and where the ladder reached onto the roof, I shoved him up there. Careful not to hurt him, but really did just shove him up there, desperate to get him out of reach, out of range. And he started shooting over my shoulder, keeping me clear. The floor gave way as I pushed him up there. There was too much pressure. The building was old. It was dilapidated. There's no way it was up to code. But the floor gave. And I jumped, just in desperation, not knowing what else to do. I jumped, I reached for the top of the ladder, and I took my normal shape, thinking that maybe if I weighed less, I'd be able to catch myself and not pull down the wall with me. But I missed. My hand slipped, and the floor was gone, and as I started to fall, glancing down, there were so many of them under me, filling the whole first floor of the building. And, I mean, she kind of shrugs. I thought I was dead. I honestly thought that if the fall didn't kill me, it certainly would. And then he grabbed my wrist from up where I'd shoved him, up on the roof. He reached through, grabbed my wrist, and he pulled me up. And of course the pursuit didn't stop. They fired these barbs at me, twisted up my arms so they couldn't move, whatever the poison was. And he hauled me out, and she kind of shakes her head, almost in disbelief even now, and he threw me over his shoulder. And he ran across the roof, and he jumped off a 2-story building with me on his back.
Yeah, Isabel's eyes pop open.
She almost looks disbelieving herself. She's kind of remembering it fondly. This is practically the first date situation for them. I still had one good arm. I was firing over his shoulder as best I could to discourage a chase, but I don't know how his legs held. I don't know how he managed it, but he jumped off the building, landed in the alley. He had a bike there. Tossed me on it and got the hell out. Managed to meet the pack that was coming to secure us on our way back in. As they were trying to clear the alleys, clear the buildings. And that whole time I thought it was so important that I save him. And in the end, I can't deny that he saved me.
the alpha seems. Then the alpha, the fucking queen seems, impressed. Like much like Johanna, she's like,
She's kind of holding the
William
hands
just
up.
kind of not. Out of the two, Isabella seems the more happy with this one. Than William seemed more amused with Johanna's one. She seems more happy with this one.
And yeah, she's just kind of looking back and forth for expressions, has the hands up. Since then, gotten engaged. Sits back.
Like I said, yeah, William is nodding like, "Oh yeah, this is nice," whereas Isabella seems to enjoy this one far more because it's romantic.
Kind of idly lifts a hand, pulling some of the hair out, back behind her ear. There's a shrug. He said it's, not perhaps very Glasswalker-centric besides the use of guns and a phone. But it's a story that's important to me. And it's a type of story I don't think is often told.
Isabella will turn on the piano, and she will very calmly flex her fingers. The queen will thank you for that because it is nice, and she seems happy. William will nod and thank you as well as Isabel will. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She begins to play. It's fast, it's exciting, it's, you know what I mean? It's thematic, and she'll turn after she's finished, and it's beautiful and it's thrilling. Not as sad as the one she played for Johanna. This is more, thematic, like the story that was being told to her. She'll turn. That's what it reminded me of. Kind of say with a nervous smile.
I should like to have you play themes to all my antics. It was very nice. It was beautiful.
Kind of just awkwardly scrunches up her face, and William will just smile. Well, we must, looks at his sister, and she'll nod. We must retire.
It's kind of nuts.
Thank you for they both thank you for the stories. Like each of you.
Yep. Like the gracious little nod of like, of course, of course.
Yeah, even though Yolanda looks weird doing it, she kind of has that weird, like, it's not a nod, it's not a bow, but it's enough of a tilt where it's like, yes, I'm being elegant.
And Queen will curtsy. Thank you both for indulging my children's curiosity, as well as my own.
It's my pleasure, and I know my alpha shares the feeling.
Yes, happily. There's nothing to be lost in learning about other tribes, the way they grow, the way they feel. They learn.
Well, my husband said the negotiations will begin. It is customary that we have not had a feast in a while. I understand that you will be coming to and fro here, much like the Wolves Mall. So I will look forward to seeing you around our court.
Absolutely.
She'll, in her hand, will reach into her green dress and plant a small token of stag and charlatan for your kindness of your packmates and you for indulging my children. And at least showing that both the Black Fury and a Glasswalker can have the same hospitality as a Fianna.
She offers this time a proper little bow of the head. Thank you.
Smiles. And will go walking after her children.
And I mean, she'll take a moment to flip the coin over, just looking at the insignia on both sides, and then offer to Yolana to do the same.
She'll take a look at it, and as she's looking at it, she'll just quietly say to Charlotte, "Speaking of which, by the now or soon, we have a meeting of our own to attend, do we not?"
Yes.
They're nice. I like them.
Me too.
You know I do believe in you, yeah.
She kind of throws her a mild smile. I assumed that if you didn't, I would give you plenty of reason to eventually. Good to hear.
This is where my heartbeat leads.
That's
I'm
all
with
I
you.
need.
Okay. Let's go do something terrifying.
She'll actually hold the hand up for the coin again, just because she's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
entertained with it and flipping it over. Does she need to dedicate it, Dorna?
No, when you transition over to Umbra, that is a very silvery sort of bracelet that wraps around your wrist.
Oh. Yeah,
Almost looks like it makes up a part of a crown.
yeah, she slides back across and kind of blinks down at it like, oh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have plenty to tell you about after we get out of here, but first things first.
And the Lumberjaw.
So, do you guys want to end the deal?
Yeah.
All right. We shall return to this lovely court. But for now, thank you players for playing, and watchers for watching, and thank you ST